everybody. Peace. Welcome to another episode of Sunnis and Shias trying to solidify their position, which they don't have any. Today, it is going to be, hopefully, a productive stream in a sense where I've been going on some TikTok lives and seeing the panels and recording some of them because I want to make a good exposition on how these individuals work, right? So when you come on their platforms and they're expressing to you the way that their religion is, you end up finding them being completely abusive. They are disrespectful. They sit and insult. They don't let you speak. They don't let you express yourself. They ask question after a question. They don't answer any questions. They interrogate you. And at the end of the day, they just don't listen to your answers either. But the reasons why I keep going up, peace everybody. The reason why I keep going up on their platforms is just so that the world can see who they are. I'm so certain of my religion. I'm certain of my position. No one's going to sit and shake me. No one's going to sit and test me in what I believe, in the core principles of what I believe. Where I get my religion from is solid. It's bulletproof. It cannot be refuted. It cannot contradict itself. And it is extremely clear for somebody who wants to use his reasonable mind, his rational mind. Now, obviously, the book of my choice is the Quran. Only the Quran. That is what I need for me to get guided to what I need to do as a human being for me to find myself on the day of judgment in a good standing with God. But Sunnis and Shias, unfortunately, they have a lot of nonsense that they've attributed to God and his blessed messenger. The messenger is going to tell them on the day of judgment, like, hey, I'm free of this stuff. This is lies that your forefathers said, and you guys keep repeating it, just like the Christians. Peace, Mahdi, Mikhail, DTX, Data Dive. Peace, man. Appreciate you coming here. Farah, Marqas al-Suri, Niet, Mikhail, John, Kirbu, Momoki, and Hilal. All right, guys, I'm about to go live on TikTok, and we're about to start this massacre. Quran is sufficient, as always. Peace, Ahmed. All right. Welcome to Talk. It is another episode of individuals that are coming to try to prove themselves as the people on the truth, as they call themselves, right? So, yes, it is always highly anticipated when I go on Sunni TikToks. They are so quick and eager to invite me up, yet they never come to a fair platform, such as my platform, where in a sense they do not mute me, they do not kick me. Peace, God Israel. Top B. Okay, leave religion as soon as possible. I feel like you're having some issues in your mind that where if you are actually, denying the existence of God, yet you're sitting around on religious platforms and talking to them, I think that you're wasting your life. So it's okay, but God deludes whom he wills in the way that he feels fit. But I appreciate everyone coming around, and obviously we are now opening that platform or the lines for any Sunni or Shia that wants to come up and tell me why being a Sunni or being a Shia is the way that submission is, the way of Islam. But what I notice is these individuals, they like to ask me many questions, thinking that they're going to defeat my position. But unfortunately, they cannot answer positions when they're speaking. You will never be famous. Nobody takes you seriously. Thank you for coming around, Halal Baker. And it seems like I'm doing pretty well because obviously all you individuals that sit there and try to invite me to their platforms to have a conversation, you end up showing your true colors, and then you want to sit here and just insult me and say that I'm not famous. I'm not trying to be famous. I'm just trying to show how your books are flawed. And with that said, let me see. I already have a guest. Basil, let me know, bro.
Yo.
How you doing?
Chillin'.
Salam. Are you a Sunni or a Shi'i?
Sunni.
You're a Sunni. So what's up, man? Tell me why Sunniism is the way of Islam.
Yeah. So I just want to know like one thing. Like, how do you feel about like all the true prophecies that sorry, I'm hearing myself.
Okay, sorry, give me 1 second, all right? Just give me one moment. I did forget to get I'll just use my headphones today. Give me 1 moment.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Yes, yes. So my question would just be, hmm.
Cool. Okay. Yes. So about the failed prophecies, right?
No, the true prophecies.
Oh, true prophecies. But what if there's failed prophecies?
What would be an example of a failed prophecy?
Sure, I'll get you one right now. So here, God states that. Do you want to see the verse in the Quran, or do you want to see the one in the Hadith first?
Let's look at the Quran.
Okay, so in the Quran, God states that nobody knows the hour except God, right? This is something that we are clearly aware of when it comes down to the concept of knowing when the hour is. So this is something that is present in the Quran. I'm going to pull up the verse for us. So let me. Give me one moment while I. Okay. Oh, here we go. Here. So you see where it states the hour. Yes. Let me just. So you see the verse that's on the screen?
Mm-hmm.
It states that indeed God possesses knowledge of the hour, and He sends down the rain and knows what's in the womb. So nobody has the knowledge of the hour except God. This is something that we all can agree on very quickly. Now I'm going to take you to a hadith very quickly. This is in Sahih Muslim, so it's not about da'if or any of that stuff where people want to come up. And we're going to read this verse together, and it states very clearly here. Okay. Anas bin Malik reported that a person asked God's messenger, "When will the last hour come?" Okay, so it states right here, "When will the last hour come?" Thereupon, God's messenger kept quiet for a while, then looked at a young boy in his presence belonging to the tribe of Shana'a or whatever, and he said, "If this boy lives, he would not grow very old till the last hour would come to you." Anas said that this young boy was our age during these days. So this is obviously a prophecy that the hour is actually approaching very soon, that there's a young boy amidst them, and if this boy reaches a certain age, which is the old age, that the hour would have already been established in 1400 years.
Isn't there another version of this hadith that says that this is just talking about the boy's hour? It says your hour and not the last hour?
The word, this is apologetics. So yes, it's very easy to start to going down into concepts of apologetics and saying, well, no. The word hour can mean
No, that's not what I mean.
But this is not.
There's another version. Yeah, there's another version of this hadith that says your hour, not the last hour. Your hour.
Bring it, because this is the one from Sahih Muslim. So this is the problem with hadith.
Okay, I'll go find it.
Sure, but this is called apologetics at this point, because right here it talks about the final hour, as-sa'a, the hour. And you see already in the comments, the Prophet is saying, don't worry about the last hour, worry about your hour. This is not what it's saying. It's not talking about him. Someone clearly said to him, right? In Arabic, Mata taqumu sa'a. Here the word is taqumu sa'a. The hour is being established. It's not when is their hour, okay? So it's very easy to go to other verses and other hadith that are trying to do these apologetics. But you know what's the funny thing is? These individuals keep talking about Anas bin Malik, who's a little kid, who's a little child. They take their religion from a little child. Show me the hadith.
Yeah, so there is the hadith, but I did find like one thing that actually supports my position here, right? So two things actually. So there's a hadith there's another version of this hadith that talks about your last hour, not the last hour.
Can you bring it?
Yeah, I'll bring it, but I also have a Quran verse. You like your Quran only, right?
Yeah, of course I follow the Quran.
Yeah, so in chapter 3, verse 179,
Mhm.
it says that Allah, he shares the knowledge of the unseen with his prophets, right?
Yes, but the knowledge of the hour is only with God. This is something that's extremely clear and evident.
Yes, but would you say
so
that?
you're
Would
saying
you
that
say
the
that that's,
prophet had the knowledge of the unseen?
yeah, I mean, if Allah chose to give him
Perfect.
the knowledge of the unseen.
And now the hour being knowledge of the unseen, this was actually given to all the messengers or Prophet Muhammad?
I mean, it could have been given to whoever it wants. It doesn't really matter.
Okay, so when God clearly states in the Quran that nobody knows the hour except Him, this means that He has given this concept of knowledge to Muhammad.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, Allah says that He can give the knowledge of the unseen to any of the prophets He wills.
Cool. So when people are saying that Jesus has the hour of the unseen, that means that Jesus could also have the hour of the unseen. I mean, the hour, the time of the hour, right?
And in Sahih Muslim 8, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself negates having knowledge of the hour as well. So,
So thank you. So the hadith contradicted itself.
yeah, the hadith is not completely infallible. Like what are we talking about here?
Okay, so we have a Quran that's completely infallible. It has no contradictions. It's extremely clear, and God is telling you exactly what you need. And then you have guesswork in your hadith books, and you say that that's part of religion. So
Well, it's not
do you see the
necessary.
issue?
Yeah. So we don't always say that you need to accept 100% every single hadith there is. I mean, you know that, right?
So you reject this hadith, the one about him. This hadith is narrated incorrectly, right?
Well, I would say so. We have another hadith that talks about how this is talking about the person's last hour specifically, not the last hour. So,
Okay, but in this version of the hadith, it's talking about the last hour. So we're going to negate this hadith and we're going to put it into the garbage.
I mean, if it contradicts the Quran, then
Perfect.
we reject hadith.
What other hadiths reject the Quran then? Now
Sorry?
we've opened a door. Now we've opened a door that where this thing that they call authentic hadith, narrated by the Prophet, it has errors. Now we have established that there's an error in the Sahih. Okay, this is authentic narrations that have an error that we negate and we don't take from. What other errors can we find?
I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of hadith, bro.
Correct. So do you see the problem now? Now we have opened a door where the authentic is not authentic.
Yes, but we have the Quran. You would agree that is the ultimate criterion, right?
Correct. It's the only criterion,
So,
isn't it?
so do you accept? Okay, so let me just get your position straight. Do you accept any hadith at all?
No, I don't accept religious authority of hadith. So I don't take my religion from hadith. So I don't, these concepts right there, of course I'm going to reject it. But if there's a historical, there's a way to prove a historical event from hadith because somebody narrated in something that in regards to history, sure. Is it necessary for Islam? No. But when you're going to tell me there's forbidden, halal and haram that comes from hadith, how do we know that the hadith was accurate? God states, do not let your tongue say that this is halal and haram, making a lie upon God. And now,
yes, but what if it can be authentically traced back to the Prophet's mouth himself?
This is authentically traced back to the Prophet himself. Anas bin Malik reported that a person asked Allah's apostle. This is sahih. The isnad is sahih. So
according to who?
According to Muslim, Sahih Muslim.
According to Muslim, okay, makes sense. Sure. The what's it called? The isnad can be sahih, but it doesn't necessarily make the hadith sahih itself. You know that, right?
Yes. So when it comes down to the concept of sahih, we're talking about the isnad. We're not talking about the matan, right?
Yeah. Yes. But I just told
I know
you.
this
the
very
matan,
well.
The matan is one thing as well, but just because the chain of narration is sahih, it doesn't make that hadith sahih necessarily as well.
Perfect.
You know that, right?
So we're just taking off from the word of man. It doesn't really matter what the context is saying because that does not qualify as something that's authentic or not. It took you 5 seconds to realize that this cannot be said by the Prophet. Yet Sahih Muslim, the individual, that Muslim, Imam Muslim, he didn't think to himself that, hey, this is contradictory to the Quran, but I'm going to put it in my book that's authentic.
Yeah, they put books. They put da'if hadiths in their books all the time, bro. It's nothing new.
No, brother. Sahih Muslim is called Sahih. It's not da'if at this point.
Yes, but it doesn't. But no one said that everyone needs to accept everything in Sahih Muslim or everything in Bukhari.
Actually, that's something that is wrong in regards to what you said. For you to follow the Sunnah in this concept, is Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, it is a consensus that you have to accept Bukhari as Sahih and everything that is being presented to you as Sahih.
Yeah. We don't reject fully. We don't reject it fully, right? But we don't also, take every hadith as 100% authentic.
Perfect. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Are you married or do you have kids?
I wish, bro.
Okay. If you were married and your girlfriend or your wife lied to you, would you still trust her?
If my wife lied to me, would I still
you caught her with a clear lie. And she said that
depends on what she's lying for.
She said that she's at a spot and then she's not at the spot. She's at somewhere else.
That would be pretty problematic.
Okay, and then she did that a few times.
That would be even more problematic.
Okay, but then I'm finding that in the hadith. So I'm finding a lie, and then I'm finding another lie. I'm finding another lie. So how am I going to sit here and take my religion from it, or say that the prophet said this nonsense?
Because the Quran itself is the ultimate criterion, right? That's why I came up here and I asked you, what would you say? What would you say about the hadiths where the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam makes a correct prophecy that we see had come true? For example, the Bedouins competing about building tall buildings.
That's a calculated assumption, and it's a very good calculated assumption. So you could see.
So you're saying that was guesswork?
It's not guesswork. He's a very intelligent man. So when you see the pharaohs, and God is talking about the Pharaoh himself was saying to his person, his buddy, right, his general Haman, build for me a tall building so that I could go see the Lord of Moses. So this is a rich setting, a rich civilization that has the ability to build tall buildings. He went to Syria, as per what the history shows. In Syria and in Jordan, he would have saw what the Romans were building, which was, again, very big, tall buildings. So he knew that his community is going to be rich, because just like how when Jesus came around, the Romans became extremely influential because of the religion that they were preaching. He knew his people are going to be rich as well. So it is very possible, very accurate, that his own people will start competing in building tall buildings. So, but again, this is in regards to the hour,
because
right?
the first part of that hadith actually says that the Arabs will find riches within their land. Does that line up with the Arabs of today finding the oil?
But this hadith has been fulfilled many times, by the way. So there's many times when they find certain things in the land, they say that this hadith is true. That anytime that the hadith is presenting,
I'm talking specifically about the tall buildings. They will find the riches within their land, and then they will compete for tall buildings.
Sure.
Bedouin Arabs specifically.
So he's a prophet and he prophesies. Is that necessary for guidance at this point?
No, but it's a matter of epistemology.
In regards to what? But here's the thing: you keep saying that the Quran is the criterion.
How do you refute any academic that comes to you and says, "Okay, prove to me Islam is true," or prove to me that Muhammad prophesied or something? Because the Quran, obviously, you would affirm is not the words of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right?
It's the speech of the Prophet. Yes.
It's the speech of the Prophet recited it, right? But it's the verbatim word of God, right?
Right, but who a person who's a disbeliever, who's he going to attribute it to? To Muhammad. That this is what Muhammad is saying. Sure. Okay, and as God states, "Min qablihi kitabu Musa," and from before the book of Moses. So what is the book of Muhammad? It's the Quran. So for us to understand the prophecies, there is prophecies in the Quran that did come to pass. So either the Romans have been defeated, or you've got the concept of like the moon going to split. So when we see the moon splitting, it's close to the day of judgment. God has talked about many things that have the Quran has presented itself.
Wait, what proof do you have that the moon split?
The moon will split. The moon will split, buddy. The moon will split. We didn't say that
the moon didn't split already.
No, this is a sign of the day of judgment.
So the hour has drawn near, the moon has split, but they reject it because they think it's magic. Okay, why would they think it's magic if they didn't see the moon split?
Buddy, the Quran primarily is being spoken in the past tense. So it's been okay. Yeah. So when the moon split, the people are going to reject it and keep saying that this is magic and still not going to outside.
So when we have something, would you not say that it's more likely that the moon was split at that time?
No, because we would have to have like all over the world people writing reports on that.
Why? There was an eclipse. There was an eclipse near I believe it was the 13th century.
So that lasted a week. That was an eclipse.
The
moon was not split. That was just a split.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you about it. They didn't write about it, and it lasted for an entire week. But the moon was split, according to our epistemology, it was split for mere minutes, and then it was put back together.
Yeah, but in these mere minutes, people all over the world where there was nighttime and they're capable of seeing the full moon for it to be split or whatever size it is, we would be able to see it.
Yes, I agree, but nobody actually looks out up into the moon, and also at the same time, like,
buddy, this is something that's extremely clear.
That's number one, right?
It would have been talked about throughout the ripples of all ages. God has many times said in the Quran that even if we show them a clear sign, that they will disbelieve. In this day and age, if God does split the moon and shows that the Quran is 100% correct, and that God already said that this is going to happen, they're going to say AI, they're going to say magic, they're going to say like video tricks. They're not going to believe it. They're going to sit there and keep arguing. So God is proving to you in the Quran that no matter what he does, they're going to sit and deny the Lord and the capability of the Lords. To say that this is something that already occurred, there is absolutely no evidence of that. But if it occurred in the last 100 years or 50 years or 1,000 years, we would clearly see many people talking about it.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. The splitting of moon is going to be something that people are just going to notice.
It was for mere minutes, right? And if you're going to ask for proof right now, you can't really ask for proof of a miracle right now. Could you show me proof that the Red Sea split? You couldn't, right? So we have hadith, right? We have hadith of the companions witnessing this, right? But you reject that, right? Why do you reject that?
But there's many narrations all over the world in regards to the sea splitting, because the people who actually witnessed it has spoken about it extensively. It's in the Torah and it's in the Quran. Is that true or false?
Yeah, it's true. It's in both books, right?
So
but
now,
could you show me proof right now? Could you show me proof right now?
For me to show you how the sea was split?
No, not show me how the sea was split.
So when I'm giving you testimonials that the moon or the sea has split, and you're saying that this is not sufficient in regards to
externally. I'm doing an external critique.
Perfect. Now I'm telling you about the exact same thing in an external critique, that the moon has not split because there is not enough testimonial. But in the other one, there is enough testimonials. So we're both going back on the testimonial of man in regards to this historical event. Now, there is much testimonials, even by the Egyptians themselves, of Pharaoh drowning. We can show you that Pharaoh drowned in the Red Sea, that specific Pharaoh. But there's absolutely nobody in the world that's collaborating this story that the moon has split.
That's not true, actually. There was an Indian king that converted to Islam because
converted to Islam.
Yeah, reverted. My bad.
But these no, I don't mean the word. But I mean what I'm trying to say is that it's very easy to find these folk tales, and the guy it's a story that has made up. It's nothing that we can actually substantiate.
Okay, so how? Okay, so
one guy in India.
That's one prophecy. That's one prophecy in the Quran, right? Which you so you clearly reject. You don't believe that happened. What about in Surah Al-Qalam, where it says we'll certainly mark him by the snout? What do you think that means? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is when they're in trouble.
This is when they're in trouble? What do you mean?
Yeah. فليدعو زبانية سندعو الزبانية كلا لا تطيعه سنسمه على الخرطوم كلا لا تطيعه. Yeah. This is that God is going to take him with his forelock, right? That he's going to mark them as well, and then they're going to be punished because they're stopping people from believing. It's not something that is going to be physically shown, bro.
I mean, we do have attestation, according to our hadiths at least, that it was physically shown that someone was slain. I can't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, but
he was
this is
major oppressor of Islam in the early ages, and he was executed, or not executed. He was unalived in the one of the battles, and he was marked by the snout. Literally, his nose was cut off.
Okay, cool. But you understand that this is also going to be applied to anybody who's sitting and stopping people from prayer, and God is taking him by the forelock.
Yes, but specifically marking him by the snout. This is the only time it's happened.
This is the only time, brother, again, you're trying to say that the Quran is a historical book. God is telling you what he's going to do with individuals that are blocking people from prayer.
Yeah, I agree that there's a historical aspect of the Quran. I agree that there's a historical aspect of the Quran.
Yes, there is a historical aspect that gets contextualized to the Prophet, but for me and you, the Quran gets contextualized a little differently.
So I'm going to critique your epistemology, okay? Can you go to Surah Tawbah, verse 30?
Verse 30. Okay.
Yeah.
And you keep saying that the Quran is the criterion, right?
Yeah.
And the Quran is the one that's going to tell us in regards to. So yeah, sure.
Okay, so it says right here, وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ibn Allah, وَقَالَتِ الْمَسِيحُ ibn Allah, right? وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى مَسِيحُ ibn Allah. So can you show me where the Jews ever worshipped Ezra as the son of God?
So this is obviously an example of what was happening. So God says, وَلَقَدْ ضَرَبْنَا لِلنَّاسِ فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ كُلِّ مَثَلٍ. So during the time when the Prophet Muhammad was alive, this verse is contextualized that they were saying that Ezra is the son of God. But in our day and age, we see this being applied differently. So if you go to, for example, here, sons of God, okay? This is a Hebrew tradition. This is something that the Hebrews say, so the Jews say. They have a concept called, right? It's right here for you to see. It's called sons of God. Okay, so this is in that they literally is a phrase used in the Tanakh or the Old Testament, and with the Christians, it's where Benu Elohim, okay, the sons of God. So they use the term. God is giving us an example on how the people around the blessed prophet used it, and we still see it present in this day and age where they call the angels sons of God. So
yeah,
the verse still applies.
I agree. that's the way I use it to prove as well. But can you prove to me that the people at the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
But but you see, the thing is that what you're trying to say is that for me to prove it, right? I've already established that the Quran is being true. I do not need to show this historical evidence. I'm trying to show you what God has been saying.
Yeah, okay, but I agree.
Okay,
So what I'm saying is, right?
No,
I said
no,
I was going to critique your epistemology, because if you were to give this to me, I could show you a narration where the Jews came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they said, how can we believe in you when you don't say that Uzair is the son of Allah, right?
Perfect.
But you don't have any evidence for that. You don't have any evidence.
No. But 1 minute. Me even using that hadith is still evidence against whatever you're trying to prove, if that evidence is true. But we cannot sit here and say that the Prophet said this 100%. And let's give it to you. Let's say that that's the truth. Is that now me using the Quran and the hadith as religious guidance? Or is it me trying to prove what the Quran already said is truth?
No, but once we can establish that most these hadiths could be true, right? And then you see, okay. So when we can establish that, could you agree that hadith that is found in let's say Tafsir Ibn Abi Hatim, right? Can you agree that could be true? It's a sahih, true thing that happened.
God states,
the Jews came to the Prophet Muhammad and said, how can we believe in you when you don't say that Uzair is the son of Allah? Ezra.
So God states, وَلَا تَقِفُ بِمَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْم. Do not pursue what you have no knowledge in. I personally cannot sit there and certify that what the Prophet said. Nor can you do that, because you have a chain of isnad where I showed you that the sahih does not mean sahih and there's weak and strong narrations.
Yes, but if you...
1 minute. How do you know that these individuals, they were presented with the same question that you did, and the guy on the spot just made a hadith up, just so that he would solidify his position to the Jews?
Yeah, because I also have
backwards?
I also have external. No, I can.
Okay, but again, this...
But you're Quran only, right? You're basically, what your epistemology is okay, the Quran is the word of God, therefore all of it is true, therefore I don't have to prove it any other way.
No, that's not. This is not how it works. I can prove to you that the Quran is true in many levels, in many different things. And when the establishment of the Quran being true and repeatable, okay, and testable, then all the other verses for me as a believer, you're a Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So we presuppose that the Quran is truth because we've already had enough evidence. Individuals can get different types of evidences for them to realize that it's the word of God. Some individuals want to go in history. Some other individuals, is due to whatever they're learning through their sciences, is being reflected in the Quran. Some individuals who are computer programmers that understand Boolean logic and see how strong Boolean logic is, the Quran is presenting itself in that Boolean logic, and it does not fail the tests. So there's many ways to prove that the Quran is from God. Someone who's very proficient in Arabic can realize that there's no human being can write in the same style as this Quran, showing that it's out of this world. There's many ways of proving that. And then when you establish that truth, what ends up happening is you presuppose the other verses. I don't need to sit here and prove every single verse to be true for me to believe it, because you don't do that.
Sure, I agree. But the thing is, right, if you trust the Quran that much, you should trust the chain of isnad that goes back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The way the Quran was preserved, correct?
The Quran's preservation is in the hands of God. God has preserved the remembrance, which is in the Quran, but He never promised that He's preserving your hadith books. But brother, I'm trying to ask you a very simple question. Now, you said that the Quran is a criterion. Where does, in this criterion that tells me what is right and wrong, for me to find judgments and legislations outside of the Quran?
Yeah, it says, يَقُولُونَ يَا لَيْتَنَا أَطَعْنَا اللَّهَ وَأَطَعْنَا الرَّسُولَ.
Yeah, we obeyed God and obeyed the messenger. How do we obey the messenger?
How do you obey the messenger?
Yes, by following the Quran, because the messenger himself is following the Quran.
But if the messenger, if the messenger said, if the messenger forbade something, let's say if the messenger forbade something, for example, mut'ah, let's say the messenger forbade mut'ah, would you listen to him and refrain from mut'ah?
So if it's something that's within the Quran and the Prophet is judging, or the messenger is judging from the Quran, so he's the person that is capable of showing you the application of the Quran. The Prophet has no right to sit here and say that wearing red is haram. This is not something that can be substantiated by the word of God. So he's not judging by the word of God.
Well, it can, because in chapter 59, verse 7.
Okay.
Yeah, chapter 59, verse 7, it says that, take from what the messenger allows you to take from and refrain from it. And I know what you're going to say.
Yes,
I know what you're going to say. It's about war booty, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is about war booty.
So why are you generalizing a statement when it's not there?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So the companions could come to the Prophet Muhammad and they could say the same thing that you're saying.
What?
I'm going to look into the Quran for guidance on how much to take from the war booty. But the Prophet himself legislates what to take from the war
Prophet
booty,
is not legislating. The Prophet is applying what God has legislated. So God says, أطيعوا الله وأطيعوا الرسول وأولو الأمر منكم. So there are people in authority. The Prophet himself, the messenger himself, is people of authority. That's why it's the same ta'ah. So the ta'ah that is given to God is different than the ta'ah that's given to the messenger and the people of the authority. God has singled out the messenger. He has a step above the people of authority in regards to him being capable of saying that even if the people of authority is saying something, he has the ability to say no, it's going to be something else. Ati'ur Rasul means he is the one who's going to be the president, the king, the leader, the person in position. He has absolutely no right to make forbidden and haram. So when God states, Ya ayyuhan nabi, lima tuharrimu ma halallahu lak.
Wait. So he doesn't at all, right? Even though the Quran says whatever the messenger says is not from himself, but he speaks from
No.
Allah,
And this
right?
is in regards to the revelation, and this is revelation from God.
How do you know? How do you know?
Well, because when the Prophet says, Aisha, make me a chicken sandwich, this is not revelation from God.
Yes, it's not. Yeah, it doesn't mean that in everything in that sense, right?
Cool. And
Obviously,
in
right?
the hadith,
But how can you tie it specifically to the revelation? Because here's the thing, right? We're differing right now. We can go back to the Quran and we can go back to the messenger. We can obviously go back to the Quran easily, right?
What do you mean go back to the Quran, go back to the messenger? Are you trying to separate God and his messenger?
What do you mean separate?
Like you're making God an entity like with his own rules and guidance, and then the messenger his own rules and guidance. Are you separating?
Oh no. That's not what I'm. That's not
because
what
that's kufr.
right? But yeah, of course not. So basically, what I'm trying to say is like, where would you go for other things other than the Quran? Like the Quran, like constantly, I would say, points us to the Hadith. It points us to the when it says obey the messenger. When it says obey the messenger.
As I told you, obeying the messenger is he is in a person of authority, not religious authority, leadership authority.
Or why not religious authority?
Because the hikmah lillah, God is the one who is going to sit and tell you what halal and haram.
Yeah, but the messenger speaks from God, right?
Not everything that he's going to say, and I can show you in your own hadith books.
But when he
makes a ruling, I can show you
a ruling, right?
I can show you in your own hadith books, right, where he made rulings and he was incorrect, and he says that I was incorrect. And this is in regards to religion. 1, 2. In your own hadith books, it says whoever imposes a condition that is not found in the book of law of God, that condition is falsehood. So he himself.
Yeah, that's the exact. Yeah, but I'll tell you. But that's the exact hadith. That's the exact hadith that all the muhaddiths use for saying that the Quran is the ultimate criteria for the hadith.
Okay,
that's
so where does God impose the condition that praying after or praying before Fajr, or like if you prayed your Fajr and the sun hasn't rise, you can't pray in between that time, or after Asr you can't pray until Maghrib. So we talked earlier about those that forbid people from praying, and now your hadith is forbidding people from praying.
Hadith is forbidden. What do you mean?
You're not. It's naha. It is the Prophet allegedly he has stopped people from praying after Asr all the way to Maghrib, and after Fajr all the way to Subh, the morning, Duha. It's forbidden for you. It's naha. I get stopped in the mosque when I pray.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what you're talking about right now. But
okay, bro, I'll bring you the verse and you can go ask your shuyukh. You're not allowed to pray after Asr, all the way to Maghrib. After you do your Asr prayer, you're not allowed to pray until Maghrib. Okay? And you're not allowed to pray after your Fajr prayer all the way to the rising of the sun after 15 minutes.
What?
Yeah, bro. Like, go ask. Go ask. I'm telling you.
Okay, so can we go back to something that I mentioned earlier, which you didn't really respond to?
Okay, but again, let's stick to the same point where the Quran is pointing me to outside of the Quran for legislations.
Yes, but I'm asking you. I got to ask you something because
Sure.
you didn't really answer me.
Go
So
ahead.
I said that you basically completely reject. You're making this case that the chain of isnad, it's like this something like magical thing that we worship that gives us religious authority, and you don't trust it, right?
No, I'm saying that anything in regards to the religion, it comes from the Quran. Anything hadith outside of that, I don't need to believe in. تلك آيات الله نتلو عليك بالحق فبأي حديث بعد الله وآياته يؤمنون. So these are the verses of God we recite to you in truth. In what hadith after God and his verses do they believe in? Okay?
Hadith linguistically can just mean story, right?
Narrations.
You know that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, narration story is the same thing.
No,
right?
God says, فَذِرْنِي وَمَنْ يُكَذِّبُ بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ. Leave me and whoever denies this hadith. I'm denying your hadith, but I'm not denying the Quran. So this is the issue.
Right. But
Right.
okay, so again, you said you don't like you made a polemic against what? The chain of narration, right? Okay,
No,
so
I made a polemic about God telling me that there's religious halal and haram and authority, religious authority outside of the Quran. I do not see that in the Quran. I don't see where God is telling me to go find halal and haram outside of the Quran.
No, you do, but you're just ignorant about it.
What, obey the messenger means now that he has the ability to do halal and haram?
Yes,
when the prophet is admonishing him, why do you forbid what I made halal?
Yes, because, oh my God, do you know the context of that?
It's not regardless of the context, it's the language.
Epistemology to talk about the asbab and nuzul, but I do.
Okay, cool. You have asbab and nuzul. Did the prophet forbid about something on himself that God has made permissible?
Yes,
Okay,
because he was doing it to please. Yeah, he was doing it to please another. He wasn't himself going around saying this is haram, this is haram, this is haram. But he was wrong about it. That's not what was happening.
So when we're talking about God and His messenger, but a single limit, whose limits is that?
Huh?
God talks, تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولُهُ, right? These are the limits of God and His messenger. وَمَنْ يَتَعَدَّ حُدُودَهُ, singular, not حُدُودَهُمَا. It's not their limits, it's His limits. Who's His?
Allah.
Where do I find the word of God?
Quran.
Thank you. So there's no limits outside of the Quran.
Yes, but you do understand that whatever the message, again, like this is just going to go back to the verse.
Yes.
Whatever the messenger says is not from himself. Okay. You're going to say, oh, but what if he says Aisha? Make me. No. First of all, I don't even think you can prove Aisha existed. If you let
me go with your point. So you're saying that everything that the messenger said came from God, right? And the Quran came from God, right?
Yeah.
And the Quran is obey God, right?
Yeah.
And the Hadith is from God, right?
The Hadith, it's from the
Okay, so that's obey God. So that's obey God. That's not obey the messenger. What does obey the messenger mean?
If you obey the messenger, you obey God.
Okay, so if I obey the Quran, I obey the messenger.
If you obey the Quran, you obey the messenger. Yeah, you do.
Okay, thank you. So you see how I am checking off the same boxes, except I'm not associating.
There's also things that the messenger said which you don't obey.
You can't prove that the messenger said that. That's 4 people down the chain telling you so, and I've already showed you that there's problems in it.
That's my point that I was going to make earlier.
Yeah, okay.
You don't accept chains when it comes to hadith, but you accept a chain that goes all the way back to the Prophet.
No. I don't say and take one reading as the final reading, and this is the reading that we have.
Wait. What other qira'at do you accept?
What I have is very clearly preserved is the QCT, the Quranic Consonantal Text. The concept of the reading is because people read this QCT in different ways until it started to become a little convoluted, because people would go and change these permutations that are present because of the diacritics until the government of the time standardized it. Just like how Uthman standardized the Quran in a way that it is going to be presented for everyone else in a certain order. Now, I have a very simple question about this concept of preservation. Uthman is a Sahabi, right? He was present with the Prophet, correct?
Yes.
He is credited for codifying the Quran that we have today that we're reading from all these readings that are available. How come he is not credited for a single hadith books if it is important and imperative for the book of God or for the religion of God?
Why is he not accredited for any hadith books?
He gave us the Quran, but he never gave us hadith, bro.
Yeah, but he was obeying hadith.
Brother, it's not about obeying the hadith. He's talking about the generations to come.
But he was obeying the hadith though. You understand that, right?
Obeying the hadith is limited. Do you understand what that means? The obeying of the hadith is limited. He himself has witnessed the messenger, and the messenger himself told him to do things. He has the ability of obeying that messenger. When God says obey the messenger, it's a general statement. You believe Jesus is coming back, right?
Yeah.
Obey the messenger. So when Jesus comes back, according to you, he's going to give you commands. You know what? We need to flank them from behind. We need to mobilize. We need to not use Instagram.
You can't even prove they were flanking anyone from behind if you reject hadith anyway.
Brother, the rejection of hadith is not rejection of people saying things. It is the rejection of religious authority. This straw man, these Sunnis you keep trying to put on us is not the case. I don't reject Arabic dictionary. I don't reject like the geography book and an atlas.
But you did.
Don't reject whatever they're saying in history. I reject religious authority.
You did though. You did, because you reject what? You're saying that the different qira'at came from the Quran. Different qira'at came from.
Don't open that door, because you don't know the qira'ats. You actually don't know the history of the qira'ats. Most Sunnis that talk, because you're going to say that there's 7 qira'ats that the prophets recited this way. And
No, that's a blunder. You just made a blunder. There's 7 ahruf. There's 7 ahruf.
Sure.
but they were preserved within the qira'at we have today.
Perfect. But this is not what all the scholars say. That 7 ahruf, that the Quran had 7 ways of being written and only one survived. The other people say that there's 7 different ways of reading it, that these all got survived. But if
I
you
don't know
look
who
at
you're talking to. The hadith that there's literally a hadith that we have that says that Jibreel recited it in 7 different ways. Those are known as the 7 ahruf.
Hadith. Do you know that
Yes,
the Hamza
but
didn't? Do
you-
you know that the
you
Hamza
said
didn't
our-
exist? Do you know
You
that Hamza?
said our scholars. You said our scholars.
Yes,
Our scholars
brother.
take from what? The hadith, right?
They take from their own opinion as well. So they look at hadith and they give
What?
their apologetics. This is the whole concept of the ulama.
Yes, but the
They give you their
the
opinion.
wording is very, very, very clear. There was
Ahruf
7
is clear. Ahruf means reading. Like that's
No,
the whole
no, no, no.
pushback. Ahruf doesn't
What?
mean reading.
Yeah, yes, I know, but the
Yeah.
7 ahruf are preserved within the qira'at we have today. And you said
Uh-huh.
you don't
one
reject
minute.
every reading, right?
One
Can you
minute.
prove to me that one reading goes authentically back to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam?
It's not about going back to the prophet in the way that he read it. My point is very simple. The readings are not preserved. The text itself is preserved. I have a very simple question for you. Was the Hamza existing during the time of the prophet?
I don't think so.
Okay, so if the Hamza did not exist during the time of the prophet, then all of our readings incorporate Hamza in the middle of the sentence. So this is
Okay,
not-
so what's okay?
So
So,
the
you know
argument
Arabic,
is-
right?
the argument
what's
is-
the difference between mu'minun and mu'minun?
There's no difference. The remembrance
Okay,
is-
so what's the problem, bro?
The problem is you do not have the way that the prophet recited it. That's my point. So the dialect, if I am a person who was living 1400 years ago and the primary dialect of my people was called the Old Hijazi dialect, I would have primarily spoke in this dialect. This is the dialect that I'm going to use primarily because that's the tongue of my people. I'm going to use the Quran in that tongue. But then this dialect, it became extinct by the end of the 7th century. So nobody in this day and age is speaking how the prophet spoke. So the number one way of him reciting it is not present. So what we have is people reading a text and they're reading it based upon what they know. So that's why some people say zirat, because it's their accent. It does not necessitate that
It's
zirat
not
is
okay.
an
First of all,
Arabic
it's not
word.
accent. Zirat, yeah,
Is an
zirat
Arabic
is
word?
not-
Is that an Arabic
It's
word?
not, no. It's what's it called? I believe it's present in Egypt where they recite Saud with the sound of Zay.
It's a clear Arabic word. It's a clear Arabic book. Zirat is not an Arabic word.
No, I just told
an
you
accent.
it's pronounced that way because people in Egypt or not Egypt. Is it Egypt?
Wherever
I can't
it
remember,
is.
but it's a different
Yeah, it's a different tribe.
region.
Yeah.
It's a different region where they would pronounce Saud. They would pronounce Saud with Zay.
Perfect. So if I'm reading an English book and somebody says wa and somebody says water, right? It's the exact same thing, correct?
Yes.
So that's a reading. It's not from God.
What do you mean?
So it's not something that God has authored. It's people reading the text that God has preserved. They read it differently. But to say that the prophet read it this way and told people you can read it this way, or that's how he taught people to read it, is false. Because he himself wouldn't say zirat, because people around him would be like, what? What'd you say?
Right.
Okay,
I understand
so,
what you're saying.
but bro, before you go, I just wanted to ask you, since we're taking our knowledge here as well from Sahih Muslim. What's your take on this? What's your take on this hadith right here? So it says here, someone narrated on the authority of Abu Dhar that the messenger one day said, "Do you know where the sun goes?" They replied, "Allah and his messenger, his apostle, knows best." Holy prophet, when he's not the holy prophet, he's a blessed prophet. He's not Nabi al-Muqaddas, but it's okay. They like to give him that kind of words. Verily, the sun glides till it reaches its resting place under the throne. Then it falls prostrate and remains there until it's asked to rise up and go to the place whence you came. And it goes back and continues emerging from its rising place, and then it glides until it reaches its place of rest under the throne, and falls prostrate and remains in that state until it's asked rise up and return to the place whence you came. So now we clearly see in Sahih Muslim where the Prophet is saying that the sun, when it sets, it goes prostrates under the throne of God. Question for you: when the sun sets in America, isn't it rising in China or Japan?
What's the problem with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam speaking in parables, bro?
Because this is not the Prophet speaking this.
Sorry?
This is not the Prophet saying this.
What do you mean?
This is Abu Dhar saying this. How do I know the Prophet said this when it's clearly against what we
okay.
observe?
So you gave me an athar. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So I can take two stances to this. Okay, I can grant you maybe the Prophet did say this. If he did, what's the problem with him speaking in parables? Like there's absolutely no problem in him speaking in parables. Jesus spoke in parables. right?
But Jesus' examples are things that can be applied. Here we know that the sun is not going under the throne of God when it says, because the sun
this
is right.
example can be, yes,
Sun
this
is always
example can
rising.
be, yes, this example can be applied, because what does it talk about? It talks about the throne of Allah, right?
Okay, so it's exactly. I'm glad you brought up the Christians. When Christians say that God can have the sun or 3 = 1, and we can explain that, right? And God can create whatever He wants. This is the exact same thing that you're telling me. That
No, because
metaphysically, that in the unseen, that the sun does it. And
no. I was not gonna appeal to that. I was not gonna.
Then
appeal
what
to
are you
that.
appealing to?
I'm saying that the wisdom can be found in this hadith by applying it in a different way, not the way you're thinking. It's not in a literal sense. Number one.
Okay.
Number two, if the prophet
It
is
is
speaking
in a literal
parable,
sense, because the sun goes all the way until God tells it to come up from the other side. So yes, no, this is the concept of individuals thinking the sun.
This is just the hadith talking about like Allah's, like how Allah rules over the entire universe. Number one. And number two. The Quran. This is like a misconception. Okay. The Quran and the Hadith, it's not necessarily a scientific, obviously there's scientific miracles that can be found in the Hadith and the Quran, right? But mostly it's talking about something from people's perspective. For example, when when Dhul Qarnayn, he finds the sun setting in a muddy spring of water.
He saw it that way. You're right.
Exactly. So when the Prophet is talking
so the
about
Prophet
this,
saw the sun going prostrating under the throne of God.
Oh, it's literally just a parable, bro. Who said you need to take this in a literal sense? When we can see the sun, it doesn't actually set underneath the throne of Allah, right?
Perfect. So
Which I don't even know if you believe. Do you believe in the throne of Allah?
In the word Arshullah, yeah, I believe in it, and not in the way that you guys conceptualize it. But let's stick to this. Sure. So yes, you're saying that this is like a parable. It's not something that's reflected in reality. And does that apply to the other mutawatir hadith? And by the way, these are mutawatir. There's the other hadith where God comes to in the last third of the night to the sky of the earth and asks who wants to be forgiven.
And says who? Yeah.
Do you believe in that?
I know about that one.
Is that also a parable?
No, there's an explanation for that. I just don't have it on me right now.
There is no explanation because it's always the last third of the world somewhere in the world. So God is always here on the last third.
I just don't have it with me right now.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
I'm just saying
we don't have these issues in the Quran where we have to sit here and talk about metaphysically possible, but it's not reflective of the reality. Okay, we're not talking about miracles here. We're talking about literally the reality that's in front of us that now you're going to attribute to a parable. When here it's not talking about a parable. What you gave me is just strict apologetics,
right?
Yes, which is fine because you need to define your books in that case.
Yeah, so I mean, you do understand that every hadith does have an interpretation to it, but you know what? I think I'm taking up way too much of your time.
But it's okay. I appreciate you coming up, bro. At least unlike the majority, you kept your cool and you were respectful. So may God bless you for that.
Yeah, I try my best. Yeah, may Allah guide you.
Guide me and you.
Yeah, no. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. All right, cool. Respectable, brother. El Ghazi.
What's going on, man?
Not much. How you doing?
Good. So, I was wondering what your evidence is that the Quran is preserved.
Because of the content. So God is showing us clearly his definition of what a God should be. And we see that is the case in regards to him being eternal. He's telling us about the psychology of the human being. God also gives us a challenge in the Quran that if it was not from God, that we will find a lot of contradictions in it. I do not find any contradictions from God. I've already established concepts of truth prior to the Quran, which the Quran reflects and it says it better than I do. So for me, just like how the people around the blessed prophet, when they say that we believe in it, it is the truth from our Lord. We were Muslims before it. This is the exact same concept of me believing in the book of God.
Yeah. So
and then one of the verses.
Question is.
So now when
the question was how you know that the Quran is the preserved word of God, and your answer was the Quran. So that's a circle.
Are you a Muslim?
That's a circle.
Are you a Muslim?
Of course I am, but that's nothing to do with your position, because your epistemology and your position is different. Your position, you have to rely on circular reasoning.
No.
And the presumption, you have to rely on the presumption that your interlocutor is going to assume that the Quran is true. But that's not going to be the case every time.
I thought I was talking to a Muslim. I thought I'm talking
Yeah,
to.
no, of
Okay,
course-
so if you're
of course I am, but-
if you're an atheist and you want to ask me like an atheist, how do you know that the Quran is preserved? Well, we see manuscripts that are being presented from the time of Uthman, which was the close companion of the Prophet, and there are also many reports
Do you have
and
any
manuscripts
full one?
showing. There are many manuscripts showing that during the time of the Prophet, where the Quran is being written, and because the Quran is being
you have-
written, okay, and
You have
then,
a full one from the time of Uthman?
yes, we have
A full manuscript?
Yeah, the one that's in
Which
Turkey, the one in Turkey that they attribute to Uthman. So because we have manuscript evidence of the Quran being the one in Topkapi Museum, now that it's being presented that the word itself is being preserved, when we look at the evidence that is being presented in the Quran, we see that it's reflective to the reality that we see. So when God is telling us about the human being and how the human being thinks, this is something that is testable and that we can see. So we find some truth in the Quran. God is also telling us about things that have been confirmed in previous books that God has sent. We find these confirmations in other books. We also see the literal style of the Quran in Arabic. It is not something that can be matched by a mere human being. So we've already established in many ways. Even for me personally, I'm a computer programmer. I see the Boolean logic style that is presented in the Quran. If this condition is met, then this is the result. Except this, and then this is the result. This is something that I can observe and measure constantly. So I've never seen a position where the Quran is presenting itself as untrue. And one of the verses, now that we have applied that the Quran is true in many ways, one of the verses says that God is preserving this remembrance. And as I told you, the QCT shows that it has been
But that's
preserved.
circular.
It is not
That's circular.
Brother,
It's absolutely, you're using the Quran to say that the Quran is preserved.
how do you know the Quran is
That
preserved?
circular.
Yeah, how do you know the Quran is preserved?
Yeah, we
Good.
can you from
What?
epistemological narrations and
Narrations.
isnads.
Narrations. How do you know the
we can
narrations are
prove that it's
preserved?
massively attested. Yeah, because they're massively attested. You have mass attestation?
Brother, mutawatir is 20 people, but I can give you mutawatir hadith that they landed on the moon today, which is completely false. So that the concept of
so
mutawatir does
you
not
don't-
mean
you don't
that
think
it's
the
true.
Quran-
But I
don't
want
think
to
the
know
Quran
how
is
you know
mass
the
attested?
hadith is preserved. Can you tell me?
No, we're talking about the Quran. Why are you shifting the burden?
Because the
That's
same
called burden
problem that
shifting.
the same problem
No,
that
it's
you're
called burden
presenting
shifting.
falls on your head. How do you know that the hadith is preserved?
I just told you. First of all,
Because
don't
of
burden
ilm
shift and go to the
al-rijal?
hadiths. No, 1 second, sir. Don't burden shift and
It's not
switch the
burden
topic.
shift, brother,
It
because
is,
you're
it is,
saying
because
you're
I
saying
asked you,
you're saying
I asked you, sir,
yeah.
sir. I asked you,
Mhm.
how do you know the Quran is preserved? And then you say, I'm using the Quran.
manuscripts.
How do you know that? How do you know the hadith is preserved? No,
No,
but
I already
we're
told you.
talking about how the
I know,
Quran is
brother.
preserved.
I already presented my position on why I believe that the Quran is
Your
true.
position is circular.
It's not
You haven't
circular,
provided
bro.
an answer.
Hold on. In an atheist worldview, he can argue all day that the position is circular. I can understand why.
So
But
it is
when
circular.
No, it isn't circular because I've already established that the Quran to be true. So one of the points
Exactly.
that
That's
1 minute, and one of the points that it's making that the Quran is preserved or the remembrance is preserved. When I look at the historical evidences of the manuscript, I see that it's preserved. So how is that circular? I have evidence from the actual word, the manuscripts. I have that. Okay, I have that proof that there was no change. But I have proof that within 300 or 200 years after the Quran, right, that the hadith, there was 300,000 hadith, and only 7,000 of them was sahih according to Bukhari. I don't have that problem with the Quran. So when I was trying to shift, I'm not shifting the burden for you to prove. For you to prove that the hadith is authentic, you use hadith to tell me that this guy is reliable. It's the same concept. I can't hear you if you're talking, bro. I can't hear you, bro. Can you guys hear him? Hello?
yeah. Sorry, I'm back. What's it called?
Mhm.
So
Did you hear what I
you're
said?
saying that- Yes, yes. So again, are you admitting now that you have to assume that the person that you're speaking to is assuming that the Quran is true in order to prove that the Quran is preserved?
1 minute. The thing is that I'm talking to a Muslim. So the
Yeah,
word
no.
of God is qat'i. The word of God is final. For you to say that the word of God is circular reasoning, this is now you proving that you're not a Muslim anymore.
Dude, a Christian can come to me and say the Bible
But then I would be
because
talking
he
to
says
a
it's
Christian.
preserved.
And
No,
yes, if I'm
no, you
talking
don't
to the
live the-
Christian, I would dive deeper into the historical manuscripts that people have uncovered. Okay, and then even if you're not going to give me that the Quran is 100% preserved, I can show you what the Quran is teaching, which is morally correct. I can show you what God is presenting as the definition of God, which is the most dominant way of understanding it. And I can show you also other historical evidences in where the Quran is accurate to what has been described. So there's many ways to prove that the Quran is from God. And this specific verse, that it being preserved, this is to a Muslim a given, because even if we're going to push against your narrative falls.
That's the whole issue. You
In your
have
case,
to assume,
bro,
you're
I'm not assuming.
You have to assume.
Is the manuscript present, bro? Are the manuscripts present?
Okay, can you prove that the Quran is preserved without using the Quran?
The manuscripts.
That's the Quran.
But
okay,
like, what do you mean?
Wait,
so if the Quran has been written down, if the Quran has been written down and it's been exactly the same from the beginning, this is not proof.
Okay. Do you have any full manuscript from the time of the Prophet Muhammad?
Brother, Uthman, was he around the Prophet Muhammad?
Do you have any full manuscript of the entire Quran intact that are dated to the life of the Prophet? Do you have any?
Brother, do you understand the question that you're asking? No, personally I don't, but I don't see internal corruptions. Do you have one? Do you have one? Do you have one? Watch. Do you have one? Watch. Do you have one? Did he run away? Like, it's such a weird conversation with these individuals. They will never show you how they know that the Quran is preserved, because they have to run to hadith and what they insinuate as the chain of narrations. But when you start to push back and you see that the only way that they know these people are reliable by other narrators, by other narrations, it falls down to the circular reasoning. So when I tell them that God's book is true because God said so, that's circular reasoning. When you ask them, how do you know that God's book is true? They say it's because of hadith showing us isnad. How do you know that hadith is true? Because hadith said so. So the only way that they believe that God is from the book is from God is because man said so. It's such a dumb argument. Like, it's such a dumb argument. It truly proves to you on the day of judgment that you have no grounds to stand on. For me to believe that the book of God is from God is because of the content. If to you this is not sufficient, then that's fine. That's fine. These individuals, bro, they think that they have grounds to stand on. Let me see. Who is it? It is such a low tier argument from a Muslim. How do you know that the pork is haram? Oh, because God says so. No, you can't use the book of God as proof. Okay, so are you a Muslim? I am a Muslim, but you can't use the book of God. The book of God is circular reasoning. Bro, these people are next level. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me see who's asking this individual. Let's go. Yeah, so what's up? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's up?
Okay, so from my understanding, you only take from the Quran, right? You don't take from the Hadith.
The Quran proves itself, preserved by God. Exactly. It's like
okay,
the proof is within it.
كافر يا مرتد يا مشرك يا كافر 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 مشرك كافر كافر مشرك كافر 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 يا كافر يا كافر يا مشرك يا مرتد يا مرتد كافر 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 يا كافر يا كافر يا مرتد يا مرتد يا كافر بولد هير كافر كافر بولد هير كافر مشرك مرتد كافر كافر مشرك مرتد كافر 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 كافر.
Welcome to the Sunnah, guys.
يا كافر يا كافر يا كافر كافر كافر.
Welcome to the Sunnah.
كافر يا كافر يا كافر يا كافر.
Take a breath, bro. Go drink some water.
يا كافر shut up كافر كافر.
Are you done now?
shut up كافر يا كافر يا كافر يا مشرك يا مرتد مرتد كافر 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 كافر.
أهل السنة والجماعة. Ladies and gentlemen, أهل السنة والجماعة.
كافر 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 كافر.
It is. I'm gonna make a beat out of this. I really am. Thanks for the clip, bro.
يا كافر.
Thanks for the clip.
No worries.
Burrito AZ.
Post it.
I am. I'm gonna make a song out of this. I really am.
Okay, you want me to prove it? You want me to prove it?
Prove that I'm a mushrik? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. The Quran says obey the messenger and take from him, right? So this means hadith.
Does that mean hadith? That means hadith? Okay. So now when the hadith states, for example, that that the devil pees in your ear when you don't wake up, that's what the Prophet said?
I mean, you have to check if it's authentic. Authentic.
So we just showed you.
I mean, you're just okay. Then you're not Muslim.
Wait. No. Start singing again.
So if you're saying that
By the way,
you
guys,
don't like
God told us
hadith,
not
and
to
so
have
that, well,
conversations
what you're
with
saying
ignorant
right now,
people.
you're just
So this
embarrassing
individual
yourself.
obviously showed his ignorance in the way that he showed up. He's
I mean,
obviously
you're
immature.
just
So I'm just
embarrassing
trying to
yourself.
see it for him to, like, you know, trigger
Okay.
himself again. Rage bait.
Can I speak?
Oh,
Can I
of course,
speak?
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, after I disconnect you. Go talk to the wall. All right, cool. I'm gonna make a song out of him. Mad shut.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, you Catholic.
Oh, I thought you were gonna sing for
Anyway.
me too. What's up?
Yeah. I want to ask you one question, bro. Yeah. And the question is, Allah in the Quran mentioned, وَمَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. We know the kitab, we find it, right?
Well,
in the Quran.
what's verse is that?
That's Surah An-Nisa 113.
112.
And we revealed kitab and the hikmah. Where we gonna get the hikmah, please?
It's in the Quran.
No. The kitab is the Quran. Allah mentioned it straight. Wal hikmah, atif, what word atif, right?
Yeah, so which
Then
verse?
John
Which
and
verse?
if
Which
we
verse?
separate John and James, 113, please.
113.
Surah An-Nisa, yeah.
ولولا فضل الله عليك وحكمة لهم طائفة وما يضرك من شيء وأنزل الله عليك الكتاب والحكمة وعلمك ما لم تكن تعلم. Now you're saying that the kitab means the Quran, right?
Yeah, the kitab is it's clear, very clear. Kitab is the Quran, right?
Okay, and the Quran doesn't have hikmah in it?
Yeah. But no, but he mentioned if I say John and James is different, isn't it? Muhammad and Abdullah is different, isn't it, brother?
So if I say that he sent a messenger reciting the verses of God, teaching them the book and the wisdom, what's the Quran here? Is it the book
Quran
or
is the kitab. The
Habibi,
kitab is the
listen. Reciting the verses of God. يَتْلُ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِهِ. Reciting the verses of God, teaching them the book and the wisdom. So what's the Quran here? Is it the book or the ayatullah?
Is it because revelation is talking about وَمَا أَنزَلْنَا, brother, revelation. Forget the how you call
Habibi,
it.
the kitab does not mean Quran. That's my point. So
Okay,
I'll
the
show
Quran
you.
is not in the kitab. Why is not?
Because the word kitab in the Quran, it means the book that all the prophets have been given. And the Quran teaches you this book, okay? So here's about Jesus. God states this about Jesus. Here, I'm going to show you a verse. Let me show you the verse. God
I
states here
know
about...
يعلم الكتاب والحكمة.
Okay, so perfect. وَيُعَلِّمَهُ الْكِتَابَ
الكتاب
وَالْحِكْمَةَ
والحكمة,
وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. So is the Injil kitab?
Yeah.
So why does God say John and John?
Okay, because listen, brother. Okay, the Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when he raised the Kaaba, he said he supplicated, right? And he says, وَاجْعَلْنَا مُسْلِمًا لَكَ وَمِنْ ذُرِّيَّةِ أُمَّةً مُسْلِمًا لَكَ وَأَرِنَا مَلَكَ. Then the verse he said, وَابْعَثْ لَنَا رَسُولًا يَتْلُو عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتِي وَيُزَكِّيهِمْ وَيُعَلِّمُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ.
Okay.
Same thing. Yes, raise a prophet who,
No, a messenger. Says a messenger.
Who will recite to you. Yes, who will recite to you the kitab and the hikmah.
Okay, so but the thing
Okay,
is, the thing is,
Isa affected that, and the saying, أيحسدون نفس على ما آتاه الله من فضله وقد آتينا إبراهيم عليه الصلاة والسلام same كتاب والحكمة.
Okay, الكتاب والحكمة is the kitab their
Yes,
Quran?
same, yes,
is the
yes.
kitab their Quran?
ذلك الكتاب الله ريب فيه هدى
Brother, the
للمتقين.
kitab that was given to Ibrahim, was that the Quran?
صحف it's Quran.
Okay. Did Ibrahim get Quran?
إبراهيم وموسى صحف has been given kitab.
Brother, is Ibrahim got the kitab. Ibrahim did get the kitab. Yes, I can witness that he has the kitab. But is that the
Thank you.
Quran?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, it's not the Quran. So here it even shows you in chapter 13, verse 43. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسِلًا قُلْ كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. Okay? And those who disbelieve say you are not a messenger. Say sufficient is God as a witness between me and you and whoever has the knowledge of the book. You see how the book is singular, right? And then I'll take you to chapter 1 or 2, right? One second, and I'm going to show you. Here, God states, ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين. You see how kitab is singular?
Yes, I understand
Yeah,
that.
but you see
brother.
how it's singular book? Is this the Quran here? Does this mean the Quran here?
It means the Quran. What else?
No, brother. This is,
given to
here's
the
another
brother.
verse. كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل معهم الكتاب.
Yes,
Singular.
it's talking about general, brother. So
Brother,
the Quran is talking about. Yeah.
Habibi, is it the Quran here?
What else it can be? What else can be?
No, it's the book that the prophets get. Now I can take you to
Yeah,
chapter
that's it,
17. I can take you to chapter 17 about the hikmah,
Yeah,
right?
same thing, brother. Same thing,
No,
brother.
no, Habibi, I'm going to show you where the word hikmah is in the Quran and where the Quran contains the hikmah. ذلك مما أوحى إليك ربك من الحكمة ولا تجعل مع الله إلها آخر فتلقى في جهنم ملوما مدحورا. This is from what your Lord has inspired you of the wisdom. So where do I find the wisdom? In the Quran.
Okay.
Where do I find the
Okay.
kitab? In the Quran. Where do I find the Furqan? In the kitab. Where do I find the dhikr? In the kitab. Where do I find in the Quran? Where do I find the mizan? Is in the Quran.
لا brother, listen.
Oh,
هو
no.
الذي بعث في أميين. Listen. After Allah mentioned Ibrahim, after he mentioned Isa, after he mentioned how you call Dawood عليه الصلاة والسلام. وآتينا ملكا والحكمة. Allah said that, yes. وآتينا ملكا والحكمة. Dawood عليه الصلاة والسلام. Again, yes brother. سورة الجمعة. هو الذي بعث في أميين رسوله يتلو عليهم آياته.
What's يتلو عليهم
نبي أمي
آياته?
عليه الصلاة.
But brother, what's the
Second.
ayat? يتلو عليهم آياته. What's that?
Ayat is verses, brother.
Which is
It's
what?
verses.
Which is where do I
It's
find
fine,
the
it's fine.
Habibi, where do I find
Yeah.
the verses?
Yeah.
Where do I find
In
the
the
verses?
In the Quran, right?
Perfect. And then
okay,
that's
it's
teaching
going.
us what?
It's explaining you, brother. It's explaining you. يدل عليه آياتي ويزكي ويعلم الكتاب والحكمة, brother.
Okay,
Same.
so-
نبي محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام.
Perfect.
And
Habibi,
the
Muhammad,
Yes.
you said he's
Yeah.
reciting the verses, reciting the Quran, and teaching them the book and the wisdom. So he's reciting the Quran and teaching the
Where
book
we
and the
gonna
wisdom.
get the
He's
victim,
not
brother? We have the kitab, brother. That's not my question. Simple.
Habibi, I'm telling
Yeah.
you, the wisdom is in the
Yeah.
Quran. So there are verses that are teaching you wisdom. There's verses that are
No,
teaching you
no,
the kitab. Let me finish, bro, please.
Because it's two things, brother, and it's very the wow معطوف, right? حرف معطوف. John and Ahmed, Muhammad and
Okay, I'm going to show you some verses.
brother.
I know what you're saying, brother,
Yeah,
but that,
yeah,
it
thanks,
could be a
thank
subset.
you.
I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. One second. So here, look at this verse. صح? Let me show you something. Here it says, لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان, right? ليقوم الناس بالقسط وأنزلنا الحديد فيه بأس شديد ومنافع للناس وليعلم الله من ينصره ورسله بالغيب إن الله قوي عزيز. We have certainly sent our messengers with proof and revealed the book, okay, and the balance with them. So what's the mizan? What's the mizan?
Yes.
What's the mizan? Please tell me. Did the Prophet come with a mizan?
But the mizan is how you call the qist. Means the qist, brother.
Oh, the messengers got the book and the mizan.
Yeah. Qist is the brother is qist how you call judgment. Is it justice? It's very clear, brother. But here, brother, look.
What's the mizan? You didn't tell me.
Okay,
Is that,
who
where do I
الذي
find the mizan, brother?
Yeah.
Where do I find the mizan?
Qist the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام, the Quran or Sunnah. This is very simple, brother. Simple.
so the hadith
Yes.
so the hadith is
Allah-
both wisdom and
Allah-
mizan, right?
The Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام, look. ألا أوتيت مثل مع Quran. Allah in the Quran, the Hadith Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Yeah.
ألا أوتي مثل مع Quran.
So
Similar like the Quran.
Okay.
I was being given, brother.
Okay, so
Simple
brother,
as that.
so the prophet has something like the Quran, right?
Listen, brother, listen. It's very clear.
Does the prophet have something like the Quran? That's what the hadith you just stated. You said that the
Yeah.
prophet said, I
Okay,
have been
brother.
given the Quran and something
Arsenal-
like it, right?
Okay, listen, brother. The Quran is same, clearing you. The same. كما أرسلنا فيكم رسولا.
Buddy,
When Allah
one
mentioned
minute,
all the
you're
hadith.
going in a circle. I'm asking you a simple
Yeah.
question. You're saying that the prophet received the Quran and something like it, right?
Yes, why not? It's
Okay,
very
so
clear.
so it says here, okay,
Yeah.
indeed, if the humans and the jinns would confer in order to bring the like of this Quran, they could not bring the like of it, okay? قُلْ لِنَ اجْتَمَعَتِ الْإِنسُ وَالْجِنُّ عَلَى أَنْ يَأْتُوا بِمِثْلِ هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ لَا يَأْتُونَ
يأتوا
بِمِثْلِهِ.
بمثله.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you're saying that the prophet has something like the Quran.
لا يأتوا بمثله means what? Who's talking? The context,
So is there
brother.
something like the Quran?
لا, brother, listen. This is different verse, brother. لا يأتوا بمثله means it's
Okay,
not
and
kinda
the prophet
come like
says,
how you call
and the
similar
prophet
like
says,
this.
one minute, and the prophet says
Yeah.
that I have been given the
Okay,
Quran and
okay, brother.
مثله.
Okay, if I say to you, brother, let's
وليست دائما
explain it. Okay.
للمغايرة والاختلاف قد تكون لصفتين لنفس الشيء. Yes. So what the brother here, Abu Sulaiman, is saying that the wow does not necessitate that it has to be two different things. It can be a subset of one. So I can show you a verse to prove this. So if I take you for no.
Bro-
You don't want to know? You don't want to see the proof?
Let me explain to you my position.
Habibi, I understand. Wallahi, I understand your position. You're
Okay,
saying the
thank you.
kitab.
Okay,
You're
thank
saying the kitab is the Quran,
Yes.
and hikmah is something other than the Quran, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm saying to you, al-kitab does not mean Quran, and you can find the hikmah in the Quran. You can find the kitab in the Quran. That's my point. And I want one sec. There's a very easy verse that I want to present to you. Okay.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
Okay. So you say the wow cannot have the same, right? John and John. It's not right. So why does God say here? وَإِذْ أَخَذْنَا مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ مِيثَاقَهُم وَمِنْكَ وَمِن نُوحٍ وَإِبْرَاهِيمَ وَمُوسَى وَعِيسَى بْنَ مَرْيَمَ وَأَخَذْنَا مِنْهُم مِيثَاقًا غَلِيظًا. And we took from the prophets their covenant, and from you, from Noah and Abraham, Moses and Jesus, right? The son of Mary. And we took a heavy covenant from them. So you see how God says prophets, Nabiyin? Yeah. Is Noah
Yeah.
Nabi?
Nuh
Is he a Nabi?
alayhi salatu wasalam.
Is Ibrahim a Nabi? Is Ibrahim a Nabi?
Rasul and Nabi, both of them.
So God
Rasul and
says,
Nabi.
but ولكن الله قال إذ
Rasul and
أخذ-
Nabi, both.
Okay, brother.
Yeah.
God says prophets and Abraham. Is Abraham not a prophet? God says Abraham. God says prophets and Abraham. Is Abraham a prophet? Yes or no?
Well, what has to do with that?
الواو موجودة. It's the same concept that you're saying that the book and the wisdom, that they have to be two separate things from outside the sources. Here God says the prophets and Abraham. So
you know-
al-kitab wal-hikmah, even if you want to put it as the Quran, it does not necessitate that it's something else.
Do you know the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam is the Nabi and the Prophet?
Did you understand my point?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
What's that point?
The point is, you can say Nabi and the Prophet. The
No, is
messenger and the Prophet.
Habibi, God says an-nabiyyin wa Ibrahim.
Was it?
God says an-nabiyyin wa Ibrahim. Do you understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Is Ibrahim a Nabi?
Ibrahim Nabi alayhi salatu
So why
wasalam.
did God say Ibrahim if he said Nabiyyin? Isn't that John and John?
But
why?
brother, listen, don't mix up, brother. Do not mix up. What Revelation is talking about, okay? Listen, brother. Surah Al-Baqarah.
Forget the Baqarah. Let's go
Allah,
Jum'ah.
brother, listen, brother. So, listen.
Yes, brother.
Wama as a revelation Allah is talking about. Allah revealed two things.
He didn't, brother. Where is this?
Yes,
man?
well, kitabul. This is means, brother.
Here, Habibi, listen to me. Here's the verse.
Listen.
هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو
Listen,
عليهم
but-
آيات. I'm reading the Quran. يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة وإن كانوا من قبل لفي ضلال مبين. He is the one who has sent a messenger among the unlearned from them, reciting his verses to them, purifying them, teaching them the book and the wisdom, although they were in clear error. Okay, here in this example, what is the Quran? Is it the book or is it the verses?
The book is the Quran, wal hikmah is the Sunnah of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Habibi, in this verse, what is his verses?
Listen, brother. Okay, listen, brother. Don't mix up.
خلاص.
وإذا طلقتم النساء فأمسكوا بمعروف أو صرحوهن بمعروف. وما أنزلنا عليك الكتاب. He repeat, brother. He repeat again. Same. وما أنزلنا. Revelation Allah is talking about, brother.
I've showed you many verses.
That's as simple as that.
Muhammad, I showed you many verses when God is saying the word Al-Kitab, it doesn't mean Quran. Al-Kitab is much general than the Quran. The Torah, 1 minute. You need to listen. Hello. Relax.
Oh my God.
Relax. Relax.
Why you rejecting, brother? You denying the Quran.
I'm not denying the Quran. Relax. Okay, brother, you're getting too emotional for me. You're getting too emotional for me. Relax. So I showed you many verses where God is saying the word kitab and it does not mean Quran. So
what you doing, brother?
All right, bro, I'm gonna let you go.
Is this, brother?
Hello.
Okay, go ahead.
The Jesus, he was taught the book and the gospel. Therefore, the gospel is not the book. The gospel teaches the book. The Torah teaches the book. The Quran teaches the book. Okay? And whoever has been given wisdom, he has been given a great blessing. وَمَنْ أُوتِيَ الْحِكْمَةَ فَقَدْ أُوتِيَ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا, I believe is the verse in chapter 2. Okay, so the wisdom is not sunnah, it's not hadith.
This is vape, brother. Vape and do you know the difference, brother?
Habibi, please stop. Like I'm presenting to you. I don't think you can trace the conversation, bro. Okay. Okay. So here, brother. The prophets used to eat chicken.
You're
Do you know that
getting emotion, brother.
I'm not emotional. You're the one who's emotional. There's no conversation.
Why are you getting emotional?
Sure, thank you.
Because you're losing big time, brother.
Okay, I'm not losing big term. You have absolutely no idea what I'm saying. That's the problem.
That's what you are acting, brother.
Perfect. What's the kitab here? أفتؤمنون بالكتاب وتكفرون ببعض. So what's the kitab here?
Don't make a mistake.
Define the kitab, Habibi. Calm down. What's the kitab? What's the kitab? Is that the Quran here?
Yeah.
Is the Quran?
Allah give you the what else he's talking
Maybe
about?
the verse that you're talking about. You believe in some and reject some.
What does that mean, brother?
Baby, who's he talking about? Baby, who's he talking about? Who's he talking about?
That's what you acting, brother. That's what you acting.
Habibi,
You
1
are
minute.
in big trouble, brother. That's why you don't
Hello,
want to
Ahmad. Be quiet and listen. I want you to answer my question. If you're not going to answer my question, I'm going to drop you. When God, you quoted a verse, right?
Yeah.
Okay. أفتؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض. Who was God talking to?
Who's talking? He's talking about the Ahlul Kitab.
Children of Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's talking about the Quran. Allah revealed. What else he revealed, brother?
He's talking about the Quran.
What else he revealed?
But brother, he's talking about the Quran here.
What?
Kitab here is Quran.
Are you a mad brother? What are you mad?
Habibi,
Are you mad, brother?
Guys, ladies and gentlemen, watch how they try to keep twisting verses. It says right here, I'm reading the Quran, and we took a covenant. Okay, this is about the children of Israel. We're talking about the children of Israel. And we took a covenant, do not shed your blood, nor shall you expel yourselves from your homes. Then you accepted while you were witnessing, okay? Yet you are those unaliving yourselves and expelling a group of them from their homes, Palestine and Israel, okay? Assisting against them in sin and aggression. And whenever they come to you as captives, you ransom them while their expulsion was forbidden to you. Do you believe? Do you believe?
Allah give a
do you believe then in part of the book and disbelieve in part? Brother, this is not about the Quran.
I can't believe you, Allah. I can't
This
believe
is not
you,
about the
brother.
Quran.
Wallahi, I can't believe you, brother.
Have a nice day, Muhammad. You don't have to. You don't have to believe me. Have a nice day, bro. There's no conversation with an individual that just doesn't. Ask me a question, bro. You've been spamming me, and I've been allowing you to spam me. Please, ask me a question.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing? I am mad, brother.
Hello.
Yes.
My friend, I just want to tell you the first that I got a huge respect for you.
Appreciate it. God
I
bless you.
was looking at you, and I I go by Quran too. Yeah. So, but I want to ask you some questions because I didn't find it anywhere, and I think that it will be the best for me to ask you these questions.
Okay, but
So, my
please,
friend,
quick, because
I know in the hadith.
this is more so the
Okay,
stream
okay.
is for like
I
debating
know.
the Sunnis and the Shias. But if you have a question, go really quick.
I know, man. Yeah, just a couple questions. I know in the hadith there's no proof to that we have to pray 3 rakats in Maghrib. Yeah. But I want to ask how many rakats that we have to pray.
There's not a concept of rakats. There's a time that you need to fulfill in your prayer, and you have to fulfill the time. The more time that you're praying in the times that God has told you to pray, that's fine. That's good. So you can do 1, 2, 3, 6, 10 units. It doesn't matter. It's the time that you are using to dedicate to God in that moment is what's important. It's not, it's not about them.
Just go by your heart. Yeah, just pray.
You're talking to God. If you're in a group and there's a congregation and the imam is the one who's leading it and he's making units, like he read one surah of the Quran, he prostrated and he got up, and he read another surah of the Quran and he prostrated, and he did that for the 3rd time. He's the imam, he's the one who's doing it, and that's what you do. But the more you pray, the longer your reward, as my brother Hilal said. It's not about the adad rakats.
And there's only 3 prays in a day according to Quran. Yeah?
Yes, there's 3 times of prayer.
Thank you so much, and I want to apologize for that guy just was screaming.
That's okay, bro.
Yeah, he was from the same country that I was from, and I just got
the guy
ashamed
dancing.
of it. No, there was Sunni rap.
Brother,
The rapping.
I don't know if you know my channel. Do you know my YouTube channel?
No, actually, I don't know your YouTube channel, but I have to look it up.
I have a YouTube channel. It's right here. Okay, it's the same name as my TikTok, Muhammad from God. Okay, on there I have a video about the prayer. It gives you. I put most of the verses about the prayer. It's 10 minutes long, and it shows you all the verses and how to apply it.
Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you too, man. May God increase you. May God peace upon those who follow the guidance. So, may God shower you with peace. Thank you.
I will say that you're a brave man.
Thank you, bro. Don't worry, man.
Thank you.
I got my God. Alhamdulillah. Peace, bro. Okay. Salam, Adam. Guys, I'm gonna try to go through the list as quick as I can. What's up? Okay, so this individual is no longer around. Avi. What's up, Avi?
Hello? Oh,
Peace.
Muhammad.
Yeah, how you doing?
Assalamu alaikum. Wow, I didn't think you would pick me. Wow.
Peace be upon you. I want it to be quick if it's possible, bro.
Oh, no. I just have a few questions, that's all, yeah. So just a little update. I started reading the Hebrew Bible, and I wanted to ask you a question. This is what actually leads me away from Islam. It's the story of Isaac and Ishmael. Why does the Quran not really clarify which son it is? Because the Hebrew Bible goes into a lot of detail that it's Isaac and Ishmael was exiled. Why does the Quran seem to favor Ishmael over Isaac?
Well, because God is correcting the narrative. So there was the concept of the sacrificing of the son. And then after the sacrificing of the son, which we see in chapter 37, that's when Abraham was told that that he was bestowed Isaac. So the sacrifice has occurred prior to Isaac being alive. So now we can implicitly understand that it's Ishmael, unless if he had another son. Well, I believe that it was Ishmael because of the Quran.
I still believe it was Isaac. I also heard that a lot of Muslim scholars believe it was Isaac too. I heard that let the Quran speak as well. Yeah.
Let me explain to you something. So, Abraham was promised a son through Sarah. Okay.
Yeah.
And I believe Abraham. It seems like, from what it sounds like, that Abraham kind of hurried the command, and he went, and Sarah gave him her one of her maids. Hagar, right? And he conceived a son with her. And I believe Abraham was tested with this son, saying that this is not the son that I promised you, and sacrifice him. This is not what I wanted you to have. And Abraham, he submitted. He was like, okay, I'm going to get rid of this son as God is ordering me to. And when God saw that they're both fully submissive, and God knew that that's what's going to occur. And Abraham passed the test that he's going to have to give up his son. Not only this one, all his sons. You as a believer, you have to walk into the fire, just like Abraham did. You are going to go through all the pain, and you have to give up your kids. You have to give up your parents. You're going to give up everything in this world. That's why God says that it's the great test, that you have to give these people up. You accepting the path of Abraham, Abraham is technically putting you up for the sacrifice, but God tells us that he rescues us, and he's going to protect us from what these people want to do to us because we're following the path of Abraham. So I believe God has tested Abraham with this child, and it was not the promised child. It does not make sense for God to promise Sarah Isaac, and after Isaac there's going to be Jacob, and then tell Abraham to go sacrifice Isaac, because then it would not make sense that the promise is true. The promise said Isaac and then Jacob. After Isaac, you're going to have Jacob. Imagine he gets Isaac and then he was told to go sacrifice him. It doesn't make sense.
Okay then. And I also have another question to ask about it. Where did the words of the azan come from? Because I've read on the Wikipedia, the azan for Quranists is two Allah Akbars, two Ashadu la ilaha illallah, then two Hayya ala salahs, and then two Hayya ala falahs, and then Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, la ilaha illallah.
No,
Where do the words of the azan come from?
No. This is just agreed upon in the society that you're in. There isn't a specific way to do adhan or the calling towards the prayer. I can sit here and just say that it's time to pray out loud. This is a call to prayer. It's just a call to prayer. The way that you apply it, it's not necessity that there's one way. I believe that there's some people that blow horns. There's people that ring bells. There's people that say and the hadith, apparently he wanted to ring bells, but that's what the Christians did. So that's why now they have this adhan. But it does not necessitate that's the adhan.
All right. And another question that I have is, it's a pretty controversial question. I also read in Wikipedia that the Quranists don't believe in circumcision when all the prophets in the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament have been circumcised.
But I don't follow that books. So there's believing in the books and not does not necessitate that you need to follow those books. So in the Quran, it does not tell us that we have to get circumcised. So no, we don't have to get circumcised. If you want to follow those books and those books are telling you to do so, then that's between you and what you believe. I don't believe God is telling me that I need to get circumcised.
But I do know that a lot of Muslims do get circumcised.
There's a hadith.
For the hadith?
There's a hadith. So here's the thing. So the Jews, for example, and I believe Christians have to as well, they have to observe the Sabbath.
Yeah.
This is not something that we would do.
Oh yeah, the Sabbath, day of rest. Is there another thing I want to ask you? Oh yeah, another question is the name Israel. Yaqub alayhi salam was renamed Israel, which
Right.
means he who wrestles with God.
Wrestled with an angel.
God the same as
Wrestled with an angel.
Is wrestling with God the same as submitting to God? Because
No.
the children.
I think he wrestled with an angel. He didn't wrestle with God.
Yeah, he did wrestle with an angel. Yeah.
Yes. So
But he
saying
didn't-
to sacrifice. Again, he beat the angel, but the angel had to hit him with the leg and demobilize him. But again, this is immobilize him. But that's just stuff in the Bible that's not necessary for my religion.
Okay then. I mean, how do Quranist Muslims interpret that name that he was given?
It is, I believe, is the one that strives or the one that moves for God is what I understood it as.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right. And this is the last question. Did you ever check out the Karaite Judaism YouTube channel?
Not yet.
Yeah.
It's on my
because
to-do
also-
list. I have a few that I have to go check out.
Yeah, because I actually spoke to the guy via his comment section, and he actually was interested in looking at your channel and everything.
It would be a nice
Yeah.
conversation if we're able to sit down and talk to him.
Yeah, because the Hebrew Bible and the Quran, following those books by themselves is it seems to me like it's very to me personally, it seems to me like it's the right way to do, not than actually follow the commentary. Because when I see Judaism and Islam, they're following the Hadith and the Sun and the Talmud more than the actual Hebrew Bible and the Quran. Then it makes me feel like is it even Islam or Judaism?
Yeah. And by the way, there's my brother here, Isa ibn Yahya, he says that yes, Israel can also mean one who strives with God, which is more so what I It says that in the RSV in the footnotes. So
And does a Muslim also strive with God or
yes,
wrestle
that's
with
the
God?
word. That's the word jihad.
So why is it that that if the Muslims don't believe that the children of Israel were Muslims?
No, well, that's the wrong understanding. So the children of Israel, the ones around the prophets, and they follow the prophets, they're believers. They're not called Jews. They're believers and submitters.
Muslims.
Yeah. So Moses himself says that you should be patient and rely on God in kuntum muslimin, if you are Muslims. So yes, the concept of Islam existed before the Quran. And the children of Israel are ordered to be Muslims, and just like how the Christians were ordered to be Muslims, just like how Abraham was ordered to submit.
Okay then. Is Islam the original the religion of the covenant, like how to follow the covenant?
Yes, so Islam existed before Adam. Even the demons had to submit to God, and that's Islam.
Yeah. You know something? I actually want to learn as much Islam as possible because if I ever go to Israel, I want to give dawah because every single Muslim that goes to Israel or Jerusalem, they always seem to just film the occupation or start trouble with the IDF, and they get arrested and everything, and they never seem to like even give a little bit of dawah.
I found that a lot of individuals, not the people who are very heavily involved in the Zionism, but just like, your regular everyday Joe in Israel, they really like the message of the Quran.
They really like the message in the Quran?
The message of the Quran, because when they hear it in a way that it's being presented, and they go, yeah, that's I like that. That makes sense, because they're born and they're forced to be extremely logical, extremely rational because of the way that they're trained as kids. But when you take away the stigmatism of the Jew hatred and all the other stuff, and you just show them the morals of that's in the Quran, they tend to like hearing it.
Yeah, exactly, and I feel that way too. But when I see the Muslim tourists, like I said tourists, as in like they're taking a tour and everything, and go to Israel, they never give a little bit of dawah, and I want to do that.
Because the Zionists hate Sunnism. they hate being denied that they have a position, which in their own books they don't. But when it comes down to trying to like talk to them, not the politicians, not the people who are pushing a certain propaganda, the people who are like hateful towards humanity, which there's many of them. But when you just sit them down and talk just about God, I find a lot of people like they sit and listen and they like what they hear.
Yeah, and I think that really has to happen because a lot of the protesters that are in Israel right now, the ones that support Palestine, the ones that support Palestine and the ones that are ending the genocide and everything, they're all like openly gay and they're all like wearing the short shorts and everything. They go into clubs and drinking. Even a few Palestinians do that in Israel. So I want to like give as much dawah as possible so I can like show them that the word of Allah.
I think it's gonna come. I think they're gonna have no option but to actually judge themselves. It's just because of how deep Zionism fell right now into things that are completely immoral, even by their own standards in the Torah. I know a lot of them assume that they're religious, but they're not judging by the book of God. So this reminder that you can present even from their own books, it shows that how you truly become a unstoppable individual.
I really appreciate that. And the last question before I let you go is, do Quran alone Muslims use the Torah and the Tanakh and the Gospels and the New Testament as like for historical purposes?
No. So we can look at the Torah and we could look at the Psalms and we could look at the Gospels for anything that is being confirmed in the Quran, but we don't use them as religious authority either.
Not authority, but like historical purposes, like
sure. If it aligns with the Quran, but very rarely. I like the parables that Jesus presented. Those I like using those. There are some stories in the Old Testament that I would use when I'm debating Zionists or Jews, or to show them. And then at that point, I also have the Book of Job, the Book of Daniel. Those books I also heavily look into as well.
Joshua too. And Joshua too.
Job was mentioned. Joshua to a certain degree.
Yeah, because like, and also I'm hearing a lot of Muslims hear about like Jesus, Aaron, and Moses, but they always forget about the prophet that came after Aaron, and that is Joshua, Yusha bin Nun. Why does the Quran not mention Joshua?
Joshua was mentioned not by name in the Quran. Peace, brother, Uncle JJ.
Can you clarify that? Like Joshua was mentioned not by name in the Quran?
Yeah. So they some individuals will say that the two people that wanted to go in and fight when they were told to fight when Moses was around, that one of them was supposed to be Joshua. I can't substantiate that. There is nothing that's mentioned directly about Joshua, so it's not something that I would accept or need to study. I mean,
It's it's always good to talk to you, Muhammad from God. And
God bless you,
whenever you get the time, check out the Karaite Judaism YouTube channel. That guy seems to be killing shit in your channel, so like check him out.
I actually put the channel when you told me to, so I do have it on my list for people to watch.
All right then. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Okay. God bless you. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace.
All right. God bless you, man.
God bless you too. Take care. Yahya.
السلام عليكم brother.
Wa alaikum assalam. What's going on?
كيفك حبيبي؟
Alhamdulillah, كيفك انت?
Alhamdulillah. I have some questions. Like my English is not the best because I'm from Germany.
Sorry,
but,
your mic is a little muffled, so it's hard to hear.
Do you hear me now? Better?
A little bit better.
Yeah. Like I'm from Germany. Like my English is not the best, but I hope you will understand me. I have some questions because I raised up like a Sunni, yeah, and I didn't even know as a kid that we have such things like hadiths and like that. We had that at home as well, you know. And I saw that the most problems came from hadiths, like between Sunnis and Shias and the Christians, all their arguments against the Islam, just based on hadiths, you know.
Yes.
And then I thought, like, how we can know which hadith is really, really authentic. And maybe there are many authentic hadiths that are good, but not like, it's not the word of God.
You don't need it.
So,
if you find any gold nuggets in the hadith, you're going to have to jump through a lot of garbage. So that's the problem. So there's many hadiths that have some, some benefits to it, like wish upon your brother what you wish for yourself. I will never say that that's what the Prophet said. That's what they assume that the Prophet said. They allege that what's the Prophet said, but they cannot provide evidence in doing so, okay? And when it comes down to my religion, all I need is the Quran. The Quran is sufficient for me to have the right mentality, to see God on the Day of Judgment, and for me to pass the Day of Judgment. For Sunnis, that means walking on a straight rope, which is what the Sirat al-Mustaqim is. And if they're not good people, they fall off the rope. But that's from the Zoroastrians. That's not from God. Yeah. The Sirat al-Mustaqim is something that you would find here on earth, and you would follow it right now.
Yeah. My question is because I struggled a little bit with like my deen because of these things, you know. And my question is, what would be changed if I reject all the hadiths and just live by the Quran, like with Ramadan and the praying and everything else? What would be changed?
Okay, so in Ramadan, you would have to break your fast a little later when the night starts to appear. So it's not right when sunset is. When you see a little bit of darkness in the sky, that's when you can break your fast, when you see the night. Okay? When it comes down to your prayer, if you want to pray the same way, I would recommend you spend more time reading the Quran. Okay, not just like very short surahs in 5 minutes and done. Your prayer should be anywhere from 30 minutes to 40 minutes, depending where you are in the world. Okay, and then the other thing is, let me just time this guy out. So, and the other thing is, there's certain things that you shouldn't say in your prayer. You shouldn't talk to the Prophet directly. You shouldn't say, Tahiyatu lillahi wa salawatu wa salamu alayka ayyuhan nabi, right? Oh Prophet. The Prophet can't hear you. So you just have to recognize what you're doing and why you're doing it. And brother, I recommend you start reading the Quran excessively. You know, you really have to start building this relationship and seeing how you can apply these verses to your life. You don't need people to tell you. I didn't need people to tell me. I sit and investigate myself. Okay? Just like how I sit and read these hadith myself. I don't need a man to tell me what to understand. I don't need nobody to sit here and explain to me. All the knowledge, all the information is there in front of me, and I'm going to be asked. I can't say because somebody told me so on the day of judgment. This is not going to fly with God. How do you know that it takes 3 stones to wipe your butt and you can't use 4? Because Bukhari told me so, or Muslim told me so. That I have to use 3 stones. I can't use 4 stones wiping my butt. And it has to be with my left hand. God's going to be like, how do you know the Prophet said so? Oh, Sahih Muslim said so. And Sahih Muslim goes, I didn't say anything. I just wrote things down and you believed it. This is the problem. When it comes down to the Quran, I know God said this. I can prove that God said this. I have already accepted that God has said this, and this is what I need to follow. And God says that we will teach the Quran, right? We will clarify the Quran. We will present the Quran. So you will see these verses in front of you. God states, it doesn't matter if you warn them or not warn them, they will not believe. Their ears are shut. So this individual that came earlier, he's coming here trying to put me down. And he's saying that you're wrong and but every time I'm presenting him verses, he doesn't hear it. If I see the word is true.
But what does change to, like I told you, like I raised up as a Sunni and with all the roots and traditions of a Sunni Muslim, and what does change to, like just not praying and Ramadan.
Oh,
there
so
are other
okay, I
things
see.
that will be changed.
Yes. So you can wear things like gold. Okay, wearing gold is not something that's forbidden upon you. God has told you what is forbidden and what not forbidden. There's some just Jews, some Christians, and some Sabians, and people who believe in one God. They get to go to heaven. Okay, God is more merciful than what they try to attribute to. Reading the Quran does not give you 10 points for every letter and 10 points for no. It's reading and applying. There's the concept of that you only go hell for a little bit and go to heaven. This is also incorrect and wrong. The covering of the women in the way that they cover them, this is not something that God has forced upon women. This is something that they, if they want to do, they do it to get closer. The concept of prayer, it's 3 prayers. It's not 5 prayers. There's a few other. When you go to Hajj, you don't stone the devil. There's no stoning the devil. There's no kissing a rock in Hajj. This is all stuff that they've added, which is not from God.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, brother.
God bless you, bro.
You have a nice day or night.
Salam.
Salam.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
Good. 1 second. I have a very important question I have to answer. 1 second. So can I stone the devil in my backyard if I want to? If you want to build idols and start stoning them, Kristen, call me over. We can stone them together. Man, that's crazy. What's up? His name?
Nothing much, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm guessing that you're a Shi'i?
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, okay. So tell me, why is your position
brother,
right?
So I would like to ask you, what do you know about, like, what do you think what Shia is and what does Shia mean?
Shia is from the cult, from the sect of Ali. Okay. And in the concept, it started from a political position where that they did not accept Abu Bakr as the person who was going to lead the Muslim community after the blessed Prophet Muhammad, and should have been Ali. And then they have some accepted that Ali and Omar and Uthman, whatever, but then Abu Bakr, Omar and Uthman to a certain degree, and then Ali came around, and Ali is the Imam. And then there's the 12 verse, which, are you a 12er? Are you a 12er, brother?
I am.
Okay, so therefore now there are also individuals that came after the Prophet Muhammad from the seed of Prophet Muhammad, or from the house of Prophet Muhammad, does not need to be the seed, which is Ali, and then the grandkids of the Prophet, which is Hassan and Hussein, and then seeds after him, which are now the Imams, and they are the people who tell you what the religion is.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but all of this is not accurate.
Yes, brother. Would you like to pull up a verse from the Quran?
I would love to.
Surah Baqarah, verse 30.
Sure. فيهم. It?
Yes. And can you please
30?
read it? 30. Yes, verse 30.
Okay. Sure. There you go. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. I seek refuge to God from the accursed devil. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful. وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة قالوا وتجعل فيها من يفسد فيها ويسفك الدماء ونحن نسبح بحمدك ونقدس لك قال إني أعلم ما لا تعلمون. And when your Lord said to the angels, I will place a successor on earth, they said, will you place therein who will corrupt and shed blood therein, while we glorify your praise and sanctify you? He said, indeed, I know what you do not know. So what's the issue?
Yes. So you believe that everything that's in Quran, the wisdom and everything is there for a reason, and all the Sharia, all the laws that we get are from the Quran.
All the laws that you're going to be applying has to have basis in the Quran.
Quran, yes, exactly. Now this verse states that Allah picks the Khalifa. So it's
That's
not
not so.
political.
That's
So it's not the political when it comes to Shia. We do not believe that it was political. We believe that it was Allah who chose Ali as a Shia because he had the knowledge of the book, so he can rule according to the Quran after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that's exactly what we believe about the 12 rest of the Imams. Now,
So
another thing that who contended Adam alayhi salam as the Khalifa, and he became kafir
what?
in the Quran.
Excuse me?
Who contended Adam alayhi salam as a Khalifa and became
Iblis.
kafir?
Iblis.
Iblis, yes.
Yeah.
Now you must pay attention that Iblis did not worship any other god. He recognized God.
Yeah.
He was praying to him, but he became kafir. Why? Because he failed to recognize the one chosen by Allah.
So Ali was chosen by Allah.
Exactly.
Can you show
It's
me
not-
where
it's-
Can you show me where Ali was chosen by Allah, please?
Yes. I will show you now.
Okay. So before we go there, because you use the word Khalif, right?
Yes.
And here it says, هو الذي جعلكم خلائف في الأرض, right? فمن
Yes.
كفر فعليه كفره ولا يزيد الكافرين كفرهم عند ربهم إلا مقتا ولا يزيد الكافرين كفرهم إلا خسارة. He is the one who made you successors on earth, okay? And whoever disbelieves and against him is disbelief. For the disbeliever, this disbelief does not increase at their Lord except in abhorrence, nor will the disbelief of the disbelievers increase them except in loss. So what's the Khalifa here? Who's the Khalifa?
Khalifa is the chosen authority of
No,
God
brother.
on earth.
هو الذي
Who's-
جعلكم.
No, brother,
He is
listen.
the one who made you all خلائف الأرض. What does Khalifa mean?
So there is not one Khalifa, there are multiple Khalifas. Now,
Brother,
Khalifa
one
is
minute.
the successor.
But before we keep trying to push that Shia narrative, I want to just sit here and define the word Khalifa. What does Khalifa mean?
Khalifa means the successor, the authority.
No, brother,
Chosen by-
it means Khalifa is a successor. That's what it means. Khalifa means a successor. It does not mean authority. Khalifa is a successor. Now, very easily, what was the predecessor? So for it to have a succession, for there to be a successor, there has to be a predecessor. Who was the predecessor?
Was Allah. When Allah created Adam.
Humans succeeded God?
No, brother, listen to me. Now listen, pay attention. When Adam alayhi salam had children, all his children were not successor. Adam alayhi salam. Now listen to me. Listen to me first.
I'm not talking about Adam. I'm talking about the word Khalifa. I will tell you my answer because it doesn't seem that you're tracing my conversation. God has made the human being as a Khalifa on the earth. The predecessor was the jinn. So that's why Iblis says that you created him from dirt and I'm created from fire. I'm stronger than him. So I'm not going to I don't want this guy to be in a step above me. And God here says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي جَعَلَكُمْ خَلَائِفَ فِي الْأَرْضِ. He is the one who made you, human beings, as successors on the land. So it's not about one individual who's the imam. It's about the human being the ones who are now the successors of earth. That's why we are the one who's the dominant creature. We are the ones who are capable of using this material that's in front of us. That's why we have like the rational thought. All of this did not exist before the human. So it's not about Ali and
now may I speak if I have permission, please?
Did you understand what I said or no?
Yes,
So
I get what you're
who's the Khulafa al-Ard?
I will
What's
tell
the
you what
Khalifa?
Khalifa is. I will tell you what
Brother,
Khalifa
can you
is.
tell me my point? Who are the Khalifa? In my point, in my understanding, my perspective.
Khalifa is the leader chosen by Allah who rule according to the law of
Is that
Allah.
what I said?
But you are saying it's all of us, all the humans are
The Khalifa in this case is the human being. It does not mean leader. It means successor, bro. iPhone 6 is a Khalifa of iPhone 5. You understand that? It's the next level. It does not mean that there's within the Khalifa there is people who are Imam. I get that.
So was Eve Khalifa?
No, because the human
Adam
alayhi
salam was Khalifa of Eve.
No, he wasn't, bro. He wasn't. Inni ja'alun fil ardi khalifa. It's
I'll
not just
give you-
Adam. It's the human being, bro.
Now I'll pull up a verse from the Quran, 37:83.
What? 87?
37, chapter 37, 83.
83. Okay. And it says, وَإِنَّ مِن شِيعَتِهِ لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ. So, ثُمَّ غَرَقْنَا الْآخَرِينَ. And then we drown the others in regards to Noah and the people. وَإِنَّ مِن شِيعَتِهِ لِإِبْرَاهِيمَ. And indeed, from his community is Abraham. Okay.
So, it's not the community, it's the follower. So, the follower, the Shia means
Noah's
strong
following
follower.
Abraham.
Noah is following Abraham. Now, people have misconception that the Shia means a group. You know, it means a strong follower. So, Shia is just a word, strong follower. So, we.
Do you
as Shia,
understand
we
what it
believe-
means to be Shi'atihi Ibrahim? It is from his seed. Here it is from
Yes,
him. It's
he
from
was
him.
Shia
So,
of
so are
Noah.
you from the seed of Ali now?
Brother, you might laugh, but I am actually.
Okay, so everyone who's within Ali, he's from his Shia, right?
No, well, the thing is, we believe as Shia that successive authority after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam goes to someone who has complete knowledge of the Quran and who can rule according to the Quran. It's not about lineage. It has nothing to do about lineage. It has.
Why?
to
What do you
do-
mean? Where does the Imams come from? Can they come from outside of the seed of Ahlul Bayt?
Well, Allah have decided that it's them.
Where does you keep saying Allah has decided? Do you know who is more unjust is the one that says lies about God? Stop saying Allah has decided when Allah has not said any of this nonsense in the Quran. And the reason why I'm saying nonsense is because you keep going in a circle to try to sell me Ali. You are like
I'm not
Christians,
telling
brother.
you Ali. I'm telling you that it's Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You say you. I'm not even going to the hadiths right now. I'm just going straight to the Quran. So I'm telling you.
Okay, yeah,
the
show me in the
Quran.
Quran where it's telling me who
33,
has
33.
exactly the
Quran 33, 33.
33, 33,
33, 33.
33, 33. And this is going to tell me
Read,
that
read the last part.
okay, bro, you're about to embarrass yourself, by the way. Okay.
I'm not.
وقرن في بيوتكن ولا تبرجن تبرج الجاهلية الأولى وأقمنا الصلاة وآتينا الزكاة, right? وأطعنا الله ورسوله. Okay. وأطعنا الله ورسوله. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجز أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. Who's أهل البيت?
Yes. So Alabat are the five individuals of Alabat or of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, what does it mean أهل البيت?
Fatima, the family.
One second. Well,
Household.
what does it mean Ahlul Bayt? Tell me the definition of Ahlul Bayt.
The household.
So is the household of the Bayt means Muhammad?
Yes.
Okay, so here when it says that this is about Abraham and Sarah, she said, "Oh woe to me, قالت يا ويلتا ألد وأنا عجوز وهذا بعلي شيخة إن هذا لشيء عجيب." She said, "Oh woe to me, while I begat while I'm old and this husband of mine is old, indeed this is something amazing." قالوا تعجبين من أمر الله رحمة الله وبركاته عليكم أهل البيت إنه حميد مجيد. They said, "Are you amazed at the command of God? The mercy of God and his people are upon you, the people of the house. Indeed he is praiseworthy and glorious." Who's are they now from the family of Prophet Muhammad?
So over here, Alibat, this Alibat is the household of Abraham, but this Alibat, the other Alibat, is household of Muhammad. Now
No.
you're mixing the two.
No, I'm not mixing the two.
the
You're
two.
making
Yes,
things
you
up.
are
I'll
mixing
prove
the
it to
two,
you. What does it mean when
Yes.
God says Al-Bayt? What does that mean?
First of all, let me tell you something. The Quran we have in this condition right now, which the copy that's released by Usman, is not in the revelation order.
I don't need
So
to
a lot
sit
of
here and hear this nonsense.
okay,
I just asked you a very simple question. What does
that's
Ahlul
not
Bayt mean?
nonsense.
It is nonsense.
That's
It is nonsense.
factual.
You now denying
That's
the
factual.
Quran. You're denying the Quran, and you're also telling me
I'm
that
not
Ali
denying the
has
Quran.
the full the
You
full.
are mixing up. You are
Okay, so you're
mixing
saying
up.
the Quran is corrupted, though, right?
So hold up.
Is the Quran corrupted?
No? Are you my Ahlul Bayt now?
No,
Can you
brother.
mix two?
No, I'm trying to
Are you
define to
my
you.
house? No.
Hey. What does Bayt mean? Al Bayt. Can you tell me what Al Bayt means?
It's the household.
It's not the household. It's the
What
house. It means the house, right?
household? The family.
Brother, it means the house. Okay?
It means household, the family.
Okay.
It's the
Every
family.
time the Quran uses the word Al-Bayt, it means the sacred home that is in Mecca. إذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من
No, it
البيت.
does not.
Let me finish. When Abraham is raising the foundations of the house, وجعلنا البيت, okay, مآمًا للناس مثابة للناس وآمنا. So
You're
we have
mixing.
made the house. So who raised the house?
You're mixing now.
Who
You're
raised
mixing
the
two.
house?
So there's
Who raised the
household
house?
of Abraham.
Okay, so
this
that's why he's
household
called the
of
people of the
Muhammad.
house. Okay,
In
he's
this
called.
no.
Stop saying no. He's called the people of the house. Who was the one who inherited said house when he became a prophet?
So hold up. In the verse 33, who's being purified? Can you answer me? Who's being purified?
You're the people of
No,
the
no,
house.
no. Answer. You're mixing up people
The
of the
people
house.
of the
Which
house.
house?
So the
Which
people who
people?
are following the monotheistic religion of Abraham, who has established the
No,
house in the
but
name of God. Yes, they are Ahlul Bayt. Me and you are Ahlul Bayt if
but
you are a person who's following this creed of Abraham. This is the point that
do
you don't
you know
understand. It's
when
not
was
saying
this
Ahlul
verse
Baytik.
revealed? Do you know when was this verse revealed?
It's not
When
about
Prophet Muhammad.
here.
Listen.
Watch, ladies and gentlemen. Watch how he's gonna
Watch.
flutter now.
Watch when
So this is about the
33 was
household of
revealed.
Prophet Muhammad, right?
Yes.
Does it
Yes.
include the wives?
No, it does not.
How does that make sense?
Because I'm gonna tell you now. Listen to me.
Was Sarah just called Ahlul Bayt?
Now listen to me.
Was Sarah called Ahlul Bayt in the context of Abraham?
This verse was revealed when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam took
Habibi, stop telling me when it was revealed.
Ali,
I'm telling
Hassan,
you
and
about the
Hussein under
verse
his
itself.
cloth.
Look, you're going around in circles because
I'm
you
not
got
going
caught.
around.
Is
You're mixing
Abraham
up.
was
I
Abraham
didn't get caught. You're
was
mixing up.
Abraham and Sarah, were they called Ahlul Bayt?
But they're Ahlul Bayt of Abraham. Now you're mixing up. How can
The
they be
wife
Ahlul
was
Bayt
the
of
wife
Muhammad?
included? Was the wife
No,
included?
they're not. They're
Habibi,
not.
wait a minute. Who were the angels talking to? Abraham and Sarah, and they said Ahlul Bayt.
Okay, that's
Okay, so
household of Abraham.
does it
You're
include
mixing it
Sarah,
with
brother? Does it
household.
include the wife of Sarah, the wife of Abraham?
This is funny. You're mixing up two verses. You're mixing household
Yo,
of
man,
Abraham.
one
Bro, you're
minute.
funny.
Answer the question before you
Okay.
laugh.
I'm
Abraham,
laughing because it's
in the
funny.
case,
You know?
yeah, you can laugh. In the case of
Yeah, I'm
Abraham,
laughing.
cool. In the case of Abraham, were they talking to Sarah?
Okay, I said they're talking to Sarah, but that's
Now,
household of Abraham. What point
In
do you
the
not
house of
get?
Abraham, just be quiet and listen. In the case of Abraham, was it inclusive to Sarah, the wife of
Let's talk
Abraham?
about let's take to 33, right?
Oh, hello. There's a reason why I'm taking you there. In the
Okay.
verse about Abraham and Ahlul Bayt, where you're saying it's about Abraham, did it include the wife? Yes or no? It's
Yes,
simple.
they included the wife, but not in that
One minute.
case.
So if it included the wife in the verse about Abraham, why does it not include the wives in the verse about Muhammad when it's clear Arabic? Do you understand what it's clear Arabic? There's absolutely nothing showing indication that it does not
That's
include
what
the wives. And please, you can start to waffle
That-
now.
That's where I was gonna bring up the point that when Usman gathered the Quran, he mixed two verses and made it into one. And this happened with this verse. And you can find multiple hadiths in both Shia, Sunni, and everywhere that this verse was revealed about Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, and Ali. It's called the Hadith of Qala.
Okay. Did it say it's a clear Arabic book? So the Arabic language is going to trump, correct? The Arabic language is the king when it comes down to the understanding of Quran, correct? It's a clear
Yes.
Arabic tongue. right?
Yeah, but this it's not even the Arabic that
Hello,
these
I'm not done.
Arab speaks.
Yes, sure. You can have
Yes.
that argument. Let's go to the verse where in the clear Arabic book it calls Sarah and Abraham Ahlul Bayt. And then you're going to the verse where God is talking to the wives. He's talking to the wives of the Prophet, inclusive to the Prophet, and he says Ahlul Bayt. Okay?
Yes, but
so you're saying in one verse it does not include the wives, and in the other verse it does include the wife.
because during
no
the
consistency.
time of Usman, because you
What's
hold up.
Uthman got to do with the Arabic, brother?
Because
let's
that's
split the
one, the
verses.
Quran-
Perfect. Let's split the verses. What does Ahlul Bayt mean?
That's what Ahlul
People
Bayt
of the
is the
household.
of the household.
Is the wife not a person of the
No,
household?
they're not, because
So why is
everyone knows when
Sarah?
this verse was
So you
revealed.
know more than God. So when God is saying that Sarah is the wife and she's the household of Abraham, this is God making a mistake. You know more than God.
I'm saying you are mixing two verses now.
Habibi, I'm
You're
using the
mixing
Arabic.
we're taking a whole different verse
bro, if
and
I
mixing it
say
with
the
this
word
verse.
Ahlul Bayt, okay, if it's going to be applied to Abraham, it was inclusive to the wives. When we apply it to Prophet Muhammad, in your understanding, it's not inclusive to the wives. It makes no sense. So why
All
is
right,
it?
all right.
Why, so the Arabic is not king. It's your
All right,
what is it?
So
Your imam?
let's accept your argument. Let's accept your
Thank you.
argument for a
That's it.
minute.
Perfect.
No, hold up. Let's
Thank you.
accept your argument for a minute. Now
Sure,
let me
sure,
ask
sure.
you a question. Let me ask you a question.
And by the
If-
way, every time the word Al Bayt was used, is talking about
Okay.
the house that Abraham established. That's why they're both
Okay,
same.
sure.
Yeah,
Now
sure.
let me ask you a question. If Sarah and Hajar, they were included in Al Bayt, now this verse 33, who is being purified? Those who were purified, they cannot commit mistake and sin.
What?
According to that verse, yes, because they're purified,
Bro,
right?
the Prophet is purifying everyone in regards to what he's teaching us in the Quran. God is purifying us. It's not
Allah
just
is purifying the Ahl Bayt. He's not purifying us. We are being purified through Quran, but Allah
Excuse me?
purified them. Yes. Read the verse again. Read the verse again.
Wait. You're saying a lot of nonsense right now. So he's trying to remove the dirt, okay? He's removing the dirt, right?
Read the verse again. Pull up the verse.
But
33.
brother, the Quran explains itself, okay? So we have a clear verse here, okay? So it says right here,
Yeah.
then he covered you with safe drowsiness from him and
Pull up 33.
sent down water from the sky upon you in order to purify you with it and remove the filthiness of the devil from you and to unite your hearts and to reinforce your foothold thereby. Okay? إذ يغشيكم النعاس أمنة منه وينزل عليكم من السماء ماء ليطهركم به ويذهب عنكم رجز الشيطان. Okay, so you're saying now that these people who have got this water from God, that's it, they're purified, they're infallible now? So all the Sahaba are infallible, right?
So I know how you moving. You mixing the two verses.
You keep
again.
saying we're mixing, that language is
You're
exactly the
mixing, because
same.
Allah
Bro,
is purifying the household, right? What you tell me?
has he
Someone who's hold up.
brother, has he
me ask
purified
you.
the people here?
You keep cutting me off, bro.
Because you're just going on and around in
you
a
keep
circle. You're
cutting
not
me off.
actually
Let me ask-
addressing the answer, brother.
Okay. Now let me ask you something.
Something else or something
Prophet
new?
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah is revealing him that he's purifying the household. That means they're free from sin and free from sin and mistakes.
So did
Now,
the
you
Prophet
tell
make
me,
mistakes or
Did
not?
Sarah make a mistake or no?
Did the Prophet himself, Muhammad, did he make mistakes or not? Is there anything
We as Shia believe he was sinless. He was a purified human being.
Perfect. Okay. Now, is there anything for him to be forgiven about? If he's perfect and he's sinless, there's nothing to forgive, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So God states here very clearly, okay, in the Quran, إِنَّ فَتَحْنَا لَكَ فَتْحًا مُبِينًا لِيَغْفِرَ اللَّهَ لَكَ مَا تَقَدَّمَ مِنْ ذَنْبِكَ وَمَا تَأَخَّرَ وَيُتِمَّ نِعْمَتَهُ عَلَيْكَ وَيَهْدِيكَ صِرَاطًا مُسْتَقِيمًا. Indeed, we have dedicated to you a clear conquest that God may forgive you what was sent forth of your sin and what was held back and complete His blessings upon you. So
now let me tell you something.
Was the Prophet sinless?
Now let me tell yes, let me tell you.
So why does it say here that he was not
Okay,
sinless?
let me tell you. Okay, I'm gonna answer this. This verses, the first three verses of Surah Al-Fatah was revealed during the conquest of Khyber. Did Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went and fought in Khyber, so he was being forgiven and he conquested, or did the believers go?
Hold
So
on.
Allah
Wait a
is
minute. Wait a
revealing
minute.
to
Wait a
Prophet
minute.
Muhammad that he's forgiving
Wait
us.
a minute. So when the prophet became a prophet, he was still infallible, or he was still fallible until later, or was he infallible from the start?
He was infallible from the start.
Okay, so why is God forgiving him?
God is forgiving the companions.
لِيَغْفِرُ لَكَ you.
You is us. It's the companions at that time.
لِيَغْفِرُ لَكُمْ. لَكُم is plural here. Brother, you're just you're playing with the
hold up. Let me
words.
ask you a
This is
question.
mental gymnastics. The
No.
Arabic language
Let
is
me
not
ask you a
being used to
question.
prove. I'm done with your questions. I can ask you a
Let
very
me-
easy question, and you need to prove it to me. Where in the Quran it tells me that there are 12?
Let me ask you a question.
No, answer my question now.
No,
You've
you
asked
tell
me
me.
many questions. Now ask
Did
me.
Prophet Muhammad went and conquested Khyber by himself?
Let
So
me-
Allah is revealing to him.
Because the forgiveness is for the prophet. The prophet is
not-
the one who is getting his sins forgiven. On
Prophet
what is
is a
going to come.
messenger, and he's telling us
Okay,
you'll
yes.
be forgiven.
Yeah, لِيَغْفِرُ لَكَ,
Oh,
brother.
come on, bro.
The Arabic is لَكَ. إِنَّ فَتَحْنَا لَكَ. It's not
You-
فَتَحْنَا لَكُمْ.
You're completely
Hello?
removing the concept of prophet being a messenger.
No, I'm
And-
not,
and-
brother. But God is talking to them. Who's laka? Who's you? It's not y'all.
Who
It's not
mean
lakum.
us?
But
Us
that's plural.
mean the companions of it doesn't mean so if
It's
in the
not
Quran
plural,
Allah
brother.
says
Is that
we, that's-
multiple people?
Okay, hold up.
Is that multiple people?
Okay, so when Allah refers
That
himself
multiple
as we,
people.
does it mean it's multiple Allah?
Brother,
When Allah refers himself
conflating
as
things,
we, does
brother.
it mean
He's-
multiple Allah?
Brother, we're conflating things. You're talking about what the concept of royal we. There is no royal you, bro. You're saying you. It's not you. all.
You just recited the
Can you
Surah
answer a
Al-Fatah,
simple
but you don't even know
question?
when it was revealed.
Can you
It was
answer a
revealed on
simple
paper.
question? Hello?
Okay, but
Can
I'm
you
asking
answer a simple question? Is it
you
clear?
haven't answered my question. That was when Prophet Muhammad did he conquest Khyber?
I am talking about the
So
verse
Allah
that I
is-
presented before. You're asking me about the history. Here it says لِيَغْفِرَ لَكَ. Is this plural or singular?
Okay, same argument. When Allah referred himself as
Yo.
we, does it mean singular
There is
or
a plural we. I can't say you and it becomes plural. I can make plural into a singular. That's the royal we. There's no royal you, bro. That's you're conflating things. Very simple before you run away. Is that singular or plural? لِيَغْفِرُ لَكَ. You.
Include all of us, the companions at that time.
Yo, okay. This is, again, you're giving me your exegesis. I'm asking about the clear Arabic that is being presented here. لِيَغْفِرُ لَكَ. What's laka? Who's laka?
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you. I showed you from the Quran that
Yeah.
Allah picks Khalifa.
Ladies and
I showed
gentlemen,
you from the Quran.
this is what he did. This is what he did. I'm done. Cool.
Okay,
So he went and he brought me a verse in regards to the successors in the land. I showed him how it's the humans as the successors in the land. He didn't like the answer. He said, no, that this is God picking certain individuals. I showed him that that's not what the Arabic is saying, that the word successor means that there's a predecessor after he said that the humans are successors to God. He failed there.
Okay.
He took me to
Allah-
chapter 33. He
Allah
took me
also
to
picked
chapter 33.
Khalifa.
He
Allah
took
also
me
picked
to
Dawud
chapter
al-Islam as
33
Khalifa,
and we
right?
started
What
to
about
talk
that?
about the people of the household.
hold up.
In one
So-
portion of the Quran, it includes the wife. In the other portion, it does not include the wives because he said so, okay? There is absolutely no basis in the Arabic and the literature that is being presented to you to prove his position. Then we went to a concept of the Prophet and his family being completely infallible. I showed him a verse where the Prophet is being forgiven his sins. Here, it's not inclusive to the Prophet, but everyone else. And yet, God is talking to a single entity. He's not talking to a plural
So when
entity.
Allah picked Dawud al-Islam as Khalifa, what about that?
What?
Did Allah not choose Dawud al-Islam as
إِنَّ
Khalifa?
جَعَلَكَ خَلِيفَةً فِي الْأَرْضِ. Yes, we have made you a
So,
successor in the
how come
land.
Dawud al-Islam is Khalifa but not others?
He's
They're
a
not
human
Khalifa.
being. Brother, there are Khalifa in the
There you
concepts
go.
of Khalifa. But when God is
Khalifa?
when God
You
is
don't even know the concept of Khalifa. Khalifa is
Successor,
the authority
brother.
of Allah.
Okay, authority
It's
of
the
Allah
authority
means
of Allah
Khalifa?
on earth, who rules according to the law of Allah.
authority. Do you know God is talking
So are
about
you
the
Khalifa?
nation?
Are
Do
you
know,
Khalifa?
As a human being, I'm a Khalifa.
Am I Khalifa?
As a human being, you're a Khalifa.
No, I'm okay.
Okay.
Okay, Khalifa. Okay.
Thank you, brother. Do you need anything
Okay.
else? Or is your Mahdi the Khalifa?
Of course, he's the Khalifa.
So the Khalifa that's hiding in the mountain won't show his face for 1,000 years.
So now you're gonna come to mocking that he's hiding.
Yes, I am
that
gonna
he's-
mock nonsense.
So Isa al-Islam hiding too?
Isa's not coming back.
Who said?
God said in the Quran,
Where
never
did
does
he
it show
say?
the Quran that Isa's coming back. But please, save me from the headache of you giving me exegesis of the Quran, because the Arabic language has absolutely no basis for you. After you clearly telling me that Uthman's
you
had corruption
now
in it. Have a nice
you
day,
first
bro.
of all, the Arabic language that you guys speak is not
It's not the same,
Arabic
right?
language of the
Yes.
Quran.
Back
Secondly,
then,
you don't even
ladies
know
and gentlemen,
what
ladies and
Shia
gentlemen,
means.
back then, لِيَغْفِرُ لَكَ, back then it meant plural. Man, like these individuals have absolutely no basis in the Arabic language, and they want to say, oh, no, it's because back then, yes, the Arabic has not diverted that far. Man, so Shias, bro. Shias. I should have. Okay. It's easy, like.
Assalamu alaikum.
Michael Sam.
So, brother, can I ask you something? I just realized something as well, yeah?
Mhm.
So, do you believe Isa alayhi salam is going to come back?
No.
Okay. Do you believe that Dajjal is coming? Or do you even believe in the concept of Dajjal?
The concept of Dajjal, by the literal meaning of Dajjal, would apply to Iblis, and nobody's killing Iblis until the day of judgment. Hey, did the Prophet
So,
threaten the people with punishment?
Okay.
In chapter 6,
I just need to, because you're only using the Quran, so you are totally rejecting Hadith.
as religious authority, I don't need it for my religion. Now, very
What do you
simple
mean?
question.
No. Hold on.
Chapter 6, brother, God states that the Prophet was warning the individual, either the punishment is coming to you or the hour is coming to you, right? So he's threatening them that the hour can come to you unexpectedly, right?
Okay.
So why didn't the people say, well, no, the hour cannot come unexpectedly because Jesus hasn't come back yet? If he's
Because
going
the
to some
hour is
people,
on-
he's going to
because,
go to some people, he's going to some people.
No, hold on.
One minute.
The
Let me-
only
let
one
me
that
explain
knows
it.
that.
Let me explain
Okay,
it.
wait,
So he
what-
goes to some people, he says to these people, the hour will not come until Jesus comes. And then he goes to other people, he goes, hey, the hour can come to you at any second. They could have easily said, no, Jesus didn't come back, so it's not coming unexpectedly.
Okay, so you don't believe Jesus. Okay, that's one.
Mm-hmm.
So when you perform salah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you perform. I don't know how, because your concept of your Islam,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but by you just following the Quran and excluding Hadith,
Mm-hmm.
I can't even imagine how you would even come to the conclusion how salah is performed.
Read the Quran, it tells you.
Wait. Yeah, hold on. You have to follow what the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has prescribed to us as the followers, sir.
So, just,
Or else hold on.
so the Prophet told you to talk to him directly?
Huh? Excuse me?
So when you say التحيات لله والصلوات والسلام عليك أيها النبي, do you say that?
Atahiyatu.
Yeah, do you say that?
Say that again?
التحيات لله والصلوات والسلام عليك أيها النبي, or يا أيها النبي. Do you say that?
Yeah, similar to that, yeah?
Yes, similar to that. What does أيها النبي mean?
I'll be honest with you.
You don't know.
I'm not proficient in Arabic.
So
But-
you're going to draw. You're going to.
Hold on. No, I'm not arguing with it. Hold on.
You are
It's
arguing.
a
You're telling me-
basic
hold on.
concept because it's a very fundamental.
It's
Because if
wrong.
you throw away,
It's
which
wrong.
is
Do you
not.
understand? It's shirk. What you're doing is shirk. Do you understand that?
How's that shirk?
Because you're talking to the Prophet directly. You're saying this.
You're-
Peace
you're
and
giving-
blessings.
you're
At-tahiyatu
giving-
lillah.
you're giving- yeah, you're giving
Wait. Greetings to God.
Salam
Brother, 1 minute. At-tahiyatu lillah. Greetings to God. Tahiyatu lillah wa salawatu wa salam. And peace and blessings upon you, O Prophet. You're talking to the Prophet in your prayer. That's wrong. Your prayer is to God. It's not to the Prophet. Prophet can't hear you.
No, I believe you're sending this what's called
No, you're not.
peace.
you're not.
You're asking Allah to send peace and blessing
if I say
to the
Allahumma
Prophet
salli ala
Muhammad.
Muhammad, if I say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, God pray on Muhammad is different than salatu alayka ayyuhan nabi. That's different.
Then the way, because you're basically saying to me, yeah,
That Muhammad can
to
hear
follow
you in the
to
grave.
follow to Islam, the Quran, yeah, you have to follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Where does it say that that now I have to talk to the Prophet in his grave?
No, in order to practice the Quran and in order to practice this the Deen and
Perfect. Can I ask you a question? Was the Prophet a walking Quran?
yeah, the ayah got given to him. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a walking Quran.
he's the one who received it. He memorized it.
I'm a walking
It's
Quran.
inscribed into his heart.
Exactly. I'm
Basically,
striving to be a walking
Who else did he
Quran.
give it to?
I'm striving to be a walking Quran. Do you want me to be a walking Hadith book, or do you want me to be a walking Quran?
No. The walk, like he is basically the truth. He is the kitab. Like what are you talking about? He's basically the kitab.
Easy. I would suggest
Like,
you go
given
read the
to him.
Quran
The
before
Prophet
you come.
Muhammad
I suggest you go understand
Is
the
this-
Quran a
is
little
this
bit better
it's
before
not
coming
literal,
debating.
but it's like a figure of saying, like basically he got given the Quran,
yes.
and he's the one conveyed it to his followers, huh?
Correct. So I have
Yeah,
received.
that's basic, man.
I've
I'm not trying
received-
to go anywhere. I'm not Shia. None of that. No.
I received the Quran. Do I need anything other than the Quran now?
But you need to follow his practice, like his way, like.
But the practice has not
and-
been
and-
preserved.
and
The practice has
just
not
that,
been
for
preserved.
the community as
And the
well.
brother,
How laws gets passed on as well. Brother,
the
this is not just
practice
a-
has not
like-
been preserved, brother. The practice is what people attributed to the Prophet, and we've seen many issues. The Christians did the same thing with Jesus. The Jews did the same thing with David. The Jews did the same thing with Moses. The human nature, they start to idolize the messenger and they forget the message. In the Quran, it states that the messenger said, and the messenger will also say on the day of judgment, my people have taken this Quran forsaken. Okay, so people have forsaken the Quran for straight nonsense, for straight shirk, for straight derogatory things that the Prophet would never do. Okay, so there's nowhere in the Quran does it give you the ability to marry a 6-year-old or to consummate a marriage with a 9-year-old. This is directly against the Quran. And even in their own hadith books, I don't see Sahabis going around marrying 6-year-olds and 9-year-olds following the example of the Prophet that you keep wanting to tell me about. The Prophet is not going to tell me to sit here and do 90% of the nonsense that these individuals keep doing in this day and age. As I was saying.
Okay, like
Welcome back.
when it comes to the marriage and the Prophet.
So
all
I
of that,
should
Hold on.
fight people
Wait, hold
with the
on. Let me
sword
finish.
until they
Hold
say
on,
La
hold on.
ilaha illallah. That's what the Prophet was sent for. So I
Let me
should do
finish,
that.
man. I heard you, bro. No, hold on.
Yeah.
You see that kind of accusation that gets used a lot, yeah?
Because it's
That, Oh, he
nonsense.
married a young. Hold up, man. That
Yeah.
he married a young person, all of that stuff. You do know very fact, yeah, in history that that was the norm.
The
Otherwise,
norm
yeah,
was 6 years old.
Wait,
You know all the
not
Sunnis
since-
when
I don't know about that. I
But
don't know.
all
I know
the
Alam.
norms,
Wait, hold on. I don't
all
know
the
about that.
norms
But
that people
listen to this.
talk
No,
about
hold
is
up. Wait,
13-year-old,
let me finish my point, bro.
14-year-old,
Let me finish my point, bro.
15-year-old.
Bro, you
That
know, in a
was the
historical
norm. But
context,
6 years old,
them society. Hold up. You know them society, yeah, like it was known as the, because otherwise, yeah, you clearly know his own enemy would have used that against him if that
It's
was
the
not
enemies
the
that
case.
wrote it down. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Pardon?
for yes. It was the enemies who attributed this nonsense to him, because in the day when the Prophet was around, the Quraysh.
No, I'm not.
Then if you-
I'm
if-
just
brother,
saying.
I don't think you read the
concept,
history,
the
so
idea
that's
that they use his age of marriage and all of that. Yeah, his
but it
own
just-
enemies would have been using that against
The
him.
hadith, the
Look,
majority
he
of the
married,
hadith was written by his enemies. So.
all of that. Yeah, but
So-
bro, no. I'm not.
Habibi,
I'm
the
not
majority
convinced
of
by-
the hadith
I'm
was
not
written by
convinced-
his enemies.
I'm not
yes.
convinced by you saying Quran
not here to
only
conv-
is the
Okay.
only way. I'm not
That's good.
convinced. What do you
Okay.
mean? You're the one making the statement here, bro.
Yeah. Okay, brother. So I have a question for you. Okay, I want to ask you a question. Okay, so
No, I'm not listening. I'm not taking no question because of people like
Yeah,
you
have a
lot.
nice
Yeah,
day.
if I
Okay.
listen to you, I'll get deviated. I swear down. No,
Okay,
because
have a nice
because
day.
you're not making the case
have
here.
a
You're
nice
not
day.
making no case here. You're not making no case
is made
here,
for
bro.
the people who can listen. So the Prophet married a 6-year-old?
I don't know. Allahu Alam. I don't know. I don't know. I'm
The
not gonna say
Sunnis are
yes,
saying
no,
that the
all of
Sunnis are
that.
saying that he did. Do you believe that he did? The ulama, the scholars.
I don't know, innit? But like, I'm not a historical, what you call it, literate person like that. But what I'm
God
trying to
says-
say
1 minute,
is that
I
what
have
you're basically
I have
saying,
another question.
just
You
to
said you're not
follow,
going to answer questions.
doesn't
I
make
love it.
sense though.
But
It
1
cannot, because
minute.
even in the Quran,
1 minute. Thank God he got a phone call or something. Guys, I have a very simple question for this individual. Anyways, I think it's time. Easy. I think I have to, guys. Like, it's just there's no
Salam. Hi.
Alaikum salam. The last story.
Hi. Could you read me 33, 34?
33, 34. You're Sunni or Shi'i?
I'm Uthmani.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
You know the Uthmani Sahaba, the Uthmanis?
What's
The
the
Uthmani, do
Uthmani,
you-
bro?
you
Tell
know-
me. Tell me what's Uthmani. I
That
feel like you're a
mean
Shia
that
just
we-
making fun. Is
No,
that
no,
is that
that
accurate?
mean I-
You know,
that
God
mean
knows
I-
what's in the.
no.
God knows what's in the.
Can I say what mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Can I
tell
say
me.
what it mean?
Yeah.
That mean we say Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Muawiyah. We are what we call they called Nawasib.
So you're a Nasibi?
So you know that the Uthmanis, the original name, it was called the Uthmani.
Okay.
That means we don't take like the hadith of the Kufa, the people of the Kufa.
Okay. And remember what is being recited in your homes from the verses of God and the wisdom. Indeed, God is affable and cognizant. وَاذْكُرْنَ مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ لَطِيفًا خَبِيرًا. So, what's your view?
Can you tell me for you what does the wisdom mean?
Wisdom can be found in the Quran, and wisdom is the application of the Quran. It does not necessitate that this is a second revelation.
But why the God ordered the wives of the Prophet to
Do what? What did he order them
each time?
to do? What did he order them to do?
Wait a minute.
واذكرنا.
واذكر ما يتلى في بيوتكن من آيات. No.
Yeah. So what's واذكرنا? What's واذكرنا? What does واذكرنا? That's the order. What's the order? واذكرنا. What does it mean?
واذكرنا.
What does it mean?
واذكرنا it is what it means.
It is what it means.
But what does why that always God when he talked to the prophet he always ordered him to he was given the ayatullah the kitab wal hikmah.
So I'm going to address the hikmah, but I would like you to define to me what udhkurna mean.
Udhkurna it is what is mean?
Because it has there's two definitions for it. Okay, so it's either mention it or remember it. What in this context here is that remember it or mention it. فذكر اسم ربه فصلى, for example, right?
No, here we are talking here. What does wisdom here refer to? Because it is not ordered to the prophets.
So God talks about the wisdom
of the prophets.
God talks about the wisdom in the concept of Luqman. God talks about the wisdom in chapter 17. God talks about the 1 minute, man.
It is
1 minute. I'm answering you. So God says, وَاذْكُرْنَ فِي مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. It cannot be mentioned or teach other people the ayat Allah wal hikmah because they were ordered to stay in their houses. So the wives of the Prophet cannot go outside and teach their religion. One. Here God says ayatullah, which is what's coming from God, okay? And it doesn't say hikmatullah. It doesn't say the wisdom of God. It's saying hikmah. Hikmah is the application of ayatillah. And they're told to remember
That's
it.
application. What we call it? What we call the application?
Application is the way that you're going to apply the. I can sit here and say verses of God all day long, right? So, for example, God says.
But because here is talking to the wives of the Prophet.
Yes, because they were shown how to apply. That's the wisdom. So, for example, لقد آتينا لقمان الحكمة نشكر لله. Okay, so that's the wisdom, is to be grateful to God. This is something that I can tell my wife. Hey, be grateful to your Lord. Where did I learn
in
this?
62 and 2. In Surah Al-Jumu'ah in 62 too.
66 too. Perfect. and it's gonna show you again.
62 2.
Yeah. So what's al-kitab here?
No, Surah Al-Jumu'ah.
Yeah, congregation.
62.
Yeah. Well, what's the kitab here?
What's the wisdom mean?
Let's establish what the Quran.
Why he always talk God, always the book and the wisdom.
And the wisdom. Bravo. Okay, I understand what you're asking me. Okay, so what's ayatillah here?
Not only here. It is always.
I get it, brother. Let me answer you. عليهم يتلو عليهم آياته. What's آياته here?
It is the book, the Quran.
The book or the Quran?
لقد من الله على الأميين إذ بعث فيهم رسولا من أنفسهم يتلو عليهم آياته ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب. That means the book.
What's the book? Perfect. What's the book?
That means the book is the Quran.
No,
but
it isn't.
The wisdom we are talking.
It isn't. Calm down. The kitab does not mean Quran. The kitab does not mean Quran. The kitab is a concept in the Quran that it's telling you what the kitab is. The Quran, the Torah,
and the hikmah.
The Torah, the Gospel, and the Quran, it teaches you the kitab and hikmah. So I can show you what I mean.
But here,
relax. It's not talking about the Quran. Relax. Yes, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Relax, buddy.
No, I am just answering. I'm always relaxed. Look at my voice.
No, but brother, you keep talking, and I'm trying to show you that you don't know what you're talking about. So you said very clearly, the kitab equals the Quran. And the Quran doesn't say that. So here in the concept of Jesus, وَيُعَلِّمَهُ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَالتَّوْرَاةَ وَالْإِنْجِيلَ. Okay, so is the Injil and kitab in the concept of Jesus?
What is the hikmah mean here also for Jesus? Why he always give the book and the wisdom?
Because the Quran contains the book and the wisdom. The Torah contains the book and the wisdom. The Injil contains the book and the wisdom. So let me finish the point, and I'm asking you simply. Jesus was taught al-kitab wal-hikmata wal-tawrata wal-injil. So is the Injil al-kitab or not?
He is the book that he got. The kitab.
But is that al-kitab?
What do you mean by what is where you are confused, man?
Because you don't listen. So listen, just relax and listen.
Okay.
The Quran does not the kitab does not mean Quran. There's a difference between al-kitab and al-Quran. Al-Quran teaches you al-kitab and it teaches you the hikmah. God taught.
So what is for you the kitab?
الكتاب موجود في القرآن وفي القرآن الحكمة والذكر والفرقان والميزان.
That means God told the Prophet to recite the ayat, the kitab, and the hikmah.
No, because the ayat,
right?
The ayat contains
that means
the
book, and that thing. But the hikmah, why he can't just say the kitab and the kitab? Why or just
because the kitab doesn't mean the Quran.
That means why does
this verse say here? What does this verse say here? What does the verse say here, bro?
Guys, the book, it is the Quran.
No, it isn't. What does the verse say here, bro? What does the verse say here? Come on.
Okay, let's
say tell me what the verse says here. What does the verse say here, bro?
Where?
Here. What does the verse say here?
ذلك مما أوحى إليك ربك من الحكمة ولا تجعل مع الله إلها آخر.
So what's the hikmah? What's the hikmah here? What's al-hikmah? Where do I find the hikmah? ذلك مما أوحى إليك ربك من الحكمة. That is what your Lord has inspired you with the wisdom.
That is good. That is very good. That is very good.
So where is that? Is that in the Quran?
Look what it says. ذلك مما أوحى. That means أوحى إليك من الحكمة. That is not the Quran. That means the
hello. Here.
That means the thing that Prophet said.
Oh my God!
It is from God. It is
relax. Okay. So here's how it works. Relax.
I need
Relax, bro. Relax. And do not unalive your children out of fear of abject poverty. We will provide for them as for you. This is wisdom right here. We provide for them as well for you. Indeed, unaliving them is a big mistake, okay? And do not approach fornication. Indeed, it is an obscenity and evil way. This is right here. This is called wisdom, okay? And do not unalive a soul which God has forbidden except by right. And whoever is killed unjustly, then we would have assigned authority to his heir. Okay, this is again wisdom.
is the
تقربوا مال
application
اليتيم.
of this?
1 minute, I'll show you. And do not just
okay,
be
okay.
quiet and
Okay,
listen,
bro.
and do not approach the property of an orphan except by which it until he reaches its maturity. So fulfill the agreement. The agreement will be accountable. This is wisdom. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ, okay, and fulfill the measurement. Okay, وَلَا تقف ما ليس لك به علم, and do not pursue what you have no knowledge in. وَلَا تمشي في الأرض مرحا, do not walk in the earth exultantly. كل ذلك كان, all of this is evil, right? That is what your Lord has inspired you of the wisdom. So God has given you many things. Okay, He showed many
Yes.
things in the Quran and He said,
Okay.
this is wisdom.
Yes, and what about why he always give
Okay.
the kitab and the hikmah in the
Okay,
same
so
sentence?
I'll show-
For
I'll show-
example,
I'll show you
in
where the
Surah
kitab is.
Al-Baqarah, in 129, it talk about kitab wal hikmah. In Surah Al-Baqarah 151, kitab and hikmah. Surah Al-Imran 164,
Okay.
it is also ayat ويزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة. That means he sent among them, teaching them the book
Do
and the
you hear
hikmah,
anything
the
that I'm
wisdom.
saying or not?
You already said in first that the wife ordered to teach. That means the wisdom.
didn't
It is
say
the
to teach.
application
You're
of
just-
the Quran. You are saying that it is the wisdom here means the application of the Quran, and when it is revealed
brother,
to the words of the
you're-
Prophet, that
you're
means
not
it is
listening.
the same
You're not listening.
definition
You're not listening.
to the
You
hadith.
are not
You
listening.
just said
You're
that
not listening.
it is the.
You're
I'm
not
just now
listening.
speaking,
What
and
did
I
I
will
say?
listen.
Because bro, you're literally saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, and you're not even listening to anything that I said.
Because I don't understand if you understand my question.
No, your question is very simple. Watch, I will still man your position.
What is
You're
my
saying
question?
that
What is
God,
my question? What is
every
my
time
question?
God uses the word al-kitab and hikmah. Al-kitab is the Quran, so what
Yes.
is hikmah? That's your question.
Yes.
So did I understand you?
Normally.
Did I understand you?
A little bit. There is a little bit of understanding.
Oh my
here, bro.
God.
Because
You
when
are
you
clear.
said because you confused me, bro. When
I'm
you
not
said
confusing
that
you. I'm telling you, you're wrong. You're not
but you
listening.
said already.
You're not listening.
In the first sentence, you said when you explained the
Brother,
wisdom,
listen
you said
to
it
me.
is the application of the Quran. What does it mean application
Can
of
you
the Quran?
calm down, bro? You're You're just calm down. Let's start with the basic. You're talking about al-kitab.
Okay, what is the?
You're talking
Why
about al-kitab
did
wal
you say
hikmah.
the application of the Quran? Bro? Why
Wisdom
did
is
you
the
say
application. Wisdom is any sort of application. This is you being wise, knowing where the verses go. So when God says, relax, bro, just relax. I need you to understand something. The disconnection between me and you is not the word hikmah. The disconnection between me and you is the word al-kitab. You keep trying to force al-kitab equals Quran. I'm telling you no. Now watch.
Then the wisdom, what it mean? What it mean? The wisdom.
Wisdom is hikmah. It's wisdom. It literally means hikmah. It doesn't mean sunnah and hadith.
And why it is always? Why it is always?
Because in the Quran,
kitab and the book and the hikmah.
Because
Why?
in the Quran, it comes hand by hand. God gives you the kitab and He gives you the wisdom on how to apply the kitab. But the Quran does not.
That is good.
Okay,
This
so
is good, but
here,
when
for
you, because when
example,
you said,
يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام. All you have believed, abstinence is written to you as it was. That's kitab at this point. You understand me? كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم. So in the Quran, I have learned part of al-kitab, and in the Quran, I'm learning what is the wisdom. Now, I am showing you in the verses that you're quoting.
So what is the kitab here? The kitab is part of the Quran? It's just part of the Quran?
Yes, the Quran
and
teaches
the
you the kitab.
Ayatullah. So it's all the Quran. It's all of the Quran.
Ayatullah teaches you. Ayatullah teaches you the book and the wisdom. Okay?
But
Ayatullah teaches. So they cannot be separate. They have to be separate.
No. Because he's the problem. For example, in Surah Al-Jumu'ah, he said he is the one who sent among the unlettered people. هو الذي بعث في الأميين رسولا منهم يتلو عليهم آياته. That means those ayat.
What ayat? What ayat? Perfect. What's ayat?
That means the Quran.
Perfect. Okay, perfect. You see what was?
That mean here is it is good. يعلمهم. That mean he is teaching him the kitab and the wisdom.
What's the kitab?
The hadith.
What's the kitab, bro? What's the kitab?
here when you say يزكيهم ويعلمهم الكتاب, we understand from ويعلمهم
What's the
الكتاب والحكمة,
kitab?
that means the application of
No,
the
brother,
ayat.
it's
and
God's
the kitab, that means it can also refer to hadith if we go by your logic like that.
No, it
That
doesn't fall
that
to
is
the logic.
why you
No,
confuse me, bro.
You're confused because you don't know what you're talking about. Now just be quiet and watch how you have no idea what you're talking about.
أوحي wisdom.
Okay, brother, listen to me. Here, God says the book, okay? The prophets, here, prophets. So, actually, let's go to righteousness. Righteousness is not west or west. There it is. Okay. Here, man, you just go a million miles without listening. So God says here,
Okay.
ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين. Is نبيين here prophets? Is that plural?
Plural, yes.
Is that, okay, الملائكة plural?
Yes.
الكتاب, is that plural or singular?
It is singular.
Okay, so you see how al-kitab is singular? Now we can go to the other verse here in prophets. Okay, so here.
Because I want also to go back to the 33, 34 because I have a question about it.
34, just 1 minute. كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل معهم الكتاب. So how many prophets are we talking about?
Yes.
Plural or singular?
Plural prophets.
And how many kitabs are we talking about?
Each prophet has a
No. What's the verse says? وأنزل معهم الكتاب. How many books are there?
Yeah.
How many?
Each prophet's got his own book.
Brother, that's not what it's saying. كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين prophets مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل معهم الكتاب.
الكتاب.
How many kitabs are we talking about? One. Singular. The prophets came with a single...
Because one prophet got one book. Other prophets got one book. Other prophets got one book.
Didn't I show you?
That's how I understand it.
You don't understand because you're just talking, and you're not listening. I showed you a verse where God states to believe in God, the last day.
Did the prophets explain this? Like
Hasbunallah, bro. Why don't you let the man listen? Why don't you listen?
Okay, hold on.
God is constantly talking about a singular book, kitab, al-kitab. Okay, so God says that to believe in God, the angels, al-kitab, one book, and the prophets, multiple. God says that he sent the prophets with a singular book. God says that he taught Jesus the book and he taught him the gospel and the Torah. Prophet Muhammad was taught the book and he was taught the Quran. The Quran teaches the people the book and the wisdom. So stop saying that the book is Quran.
Each prophet got his own book.
Is this what the verse says here, bro? Is this what it's... Translate this verse for me.
What is it?
Yeah, translate this verse for me. Here, right here. Till here. Tell me what the verse says here.
كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل معهم الكتاب.
Okay, so tell me.
What is the problem with her?
Translate it. Translate it.
Can you...
Yeah, translate it. True, Ahmed.
And the people were one ummah.
Nation, okay.
One nation. And he... What is بعث?
He sent.
He sent he sent a prophet.
Prophets. Nabiyin.
Prophets.
Yeah, yes. He sent the Nabiyin.
مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل and he gave them the book.
Give them the book. You see this? He sent the prophets.
Each prophet got one book.
That's not what the verse says, bro. He didn't say
Prophet Jesus got one book.
It doesn't, bro.
But he is here, bro.
There's no talking to you. The Arabic is so literal, bro. The book is always singular. The book is always singular. Every prophet had access to this book, the book.
That is the problem here, bro.
So the book doesn't mean Quran.
Understand it like there is people that understand it like me.
Yeah,
Okay.
but your understanding is from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah and it's wrong. Where hadith
I
means...
told you from the beginning, I am Uthmani, bro. I am
Whatever
Uthmani.
Uthmani it is, whatever you want to say, you're saying that Sunnah means hikmah. Hikmah is hadith. And Kitab means Quran. But this is not substantiated in the Quran.
That's why I ask you in the first place to 33, 34, because we got that.
Yes, okay.
واذكرن في ما يتلى في بيوتك من آيات الله. Because in the first place you said آيات الله, you said آيات الله, the verses of Allah. It is the Quran. That means, and the wisdom, you explained it is the explanation of the Quran, the application of the Quran.
But the Quran
it is the Sunnah.
But the Quran, no, it isn't the Sunnah because the application can change from person to person. This is what I'm trying to explain. So when the wives are going to apply the Quran, it's based upon what they were told. It's not the same for someone else. The Prophet is not going to say in his... Bro, there is absolutely no talking to individuals like you. There's absolutely no... What does kitab mean?
Understand what?
There's no understanding when you just keep talking and yapping and going around in circles. So there's... for you, because the waw al-aql, right?
That's why I start with 33, 34, because it is what it
Where
is
do
not
you find the
written
hikmah, brother? Where do you find the hikmah?
The wisdom.
Where do you find that? Where do you find wisdom?
It is the
Where's the wisdom? Where do I find that?
In the Sunnah.
Okay, so do I find any wisdom in the Quran?
The Quran is the Quran, bro.
Does it include wisdom? There's no hikmah in the Quran?
There is hikmah in the Quran.
So where do I find the hikmah?
What do you mean?
Where do I find hikmah, bro?
In the application of the Quran.
Okay, where do I find hikmah, brother?
In the by turning that written book and that oral book, that is the Ayatullah, into actions and something that we can live. That is the application of the book. That's why God told it to the Prophet to transmit. He was أوحي إليه الحكمة. That is the application of the book, how you explained it, and for the wives of the Prophet to transmit this to us.
Okay, what does this mean here? What does it mean here, bro? Okay, you're going around in circle. I'll let you talk. What does this say here?
I don't say.
What does it say right here?
يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء. What does mean?
Yeah, who gets the hikmah? ومن يؤتى الحكمة فقد أوتي خيرا كثيرا وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب. Right? So is the hikmah here sunnah?
That means the wives of the prophets got that's the prophets got the hikmah, which is a great.
What does hikmah mean, bro? Can you answer the question before keep trying to force your narrative? Bro. What does it mean here? That whoever got the wisdom, does the wisdom mean hadith here?
It is the sunnah. That is the. It was revealed
hadith,
from God.
Hikmah means sunnah, right?
From God.
Hadith means sunnah.
It is the gift from God.
Okay, so when
hadith is part of the sunnah.
Brother, you don't answer a question and you keep trying to repeat yourself. So when God states here, okay, what does this mean? وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ. Is that sunnah?
It is the sunnah of Luqman. It is something that is revealed from Luqman.
Wait a minute. وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ. Brother, it tells you what the hikmah is. It tells you what the hikmah is. أَنْ أَشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ. So whoever has been given the ability to give gratitude has been given wisdom. This is not sunnah. This is in the Quran.
He was telling, God was telling to Luqman to be grateful.
So what's the hikmah?
And a lot of advice.
What's the hikmah in this verse? What is the hikmah?
You already answered. You said
you answer it, then answer. What is the hikmah to Luqman, bro?
Hikmah of Luqman. What do you mean by hikmah of Luqman?
Brother, in this verse, وَلَقَدْ آتَيْنَا لُقْمَانَ الْحِكْمَةَ أَنْ أَشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ.
Who gave Luqman the hikmah? Who gave
Brother, what is the hikmah here?
Wisdom.
What is it?
It is something that was gifted by God to Luqman.
Brother, what does أَنْ أَشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ mean?
أَنْ أَشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ, that means so you have to be thankful.
Okay, so what's the hikmah? أَنْ أَشْكُرْ لِلَّهِ.
It is something that... No, it is something that was gifted from God. It was gifted from God to Luqman.
Brother.
In the same way, it was gifted to God to the Prophet, and it was given.
Being thankful to God, is this wisdom or not?
No, it is an order.
Being thankful to God is not wisdom?
It is an order, bro.
And that's not wisdom?
Because it is said, "An ushkur lillah."
What is wisdom, Habibi? What is wisdom? What is wisdom?
You just told me.
Explain to me what wisdom is, brother, please.
haram.
Yeah. What is wisdom? You can't define wisdom. That's the problem with you. You're saying wisdom is sunnah, right?
No, in each.
Okay, so
that's why I
I'll
give
show
you 33, 34 here.
brother.
Because
it is right here.
Why do you
Here,
keep...
I'm telling you by definition. Okay, it is the ability to apply knowledge, experience, and good judgment to make sound decisions. This is wisdom. That's hikmah.
Thank
So
you,
God
bro.
clearly
Thank you,
tells
bro.
me. God clearly tells me to be grateful to God. The wisdom is knowing that you have to be thankful for God. When God tells me, do not argue with the ignorant. So when I recognize somebody is ignorant and me applying the verse is wisdom. It's not following hadith and sunnah. This is not wisdom.
But why? But when we gave God told ayatillah wal hikmah and wisdom, and you said it is the application of the Quran. That does mean here it is not the application
I've already
of the Quran.
addressed
it is
this.
the being thankful.
What does udkurna mean, brother? What does udkurna
Because you
mean?
just
No, listen to me. Okay,
confused,
just
bro.
calm down. Stop being confused
I'm
and listen.
calm.
No, you're not. Just calm down. Because we've been on this for 25 minutes and you still have yet to hear my answer. God has said that the prophet is reciting the verses of God, and he's telling his wives in ways to apply the verses of God. This does not mean that the wives now have to go tell it to other people, because they are ordered to remember it. It's not udhkurna to mention it. So whatever the wives have learned, we don't know what the wives have learned. But the concept of wisdom is throughout the whole Quran.
But we have the sunnah of that was transmitted from us from the prophet. That
No,
they
we
made.
don't. This is your claim. We do not have the authentic things of what the prophet said or didn't. So I can present you many hadith where it's contradictory to the Quran. We went around in a whole circle for you to get to this point.
I told you in the first place I'm Uthmani, bro.
It doesn't matter. So tell me.
No, it matters if you understand what that word
Is gold
means.
haram? Is wearing gold haram?
I don't care about gold. I am asking about Surah
It's wearing gold
Al-Jumu'ah in
haram.
62.2. In 62.2. Can we go back to 62.2 about this
Is
question?
gold wearing gold haram, bro?
I don't care. I really
or not?
don't care. I don't care about gold. I don't wear it. So I don't care. I don't have the money to buy gold.
It's not about you. It's about the wisdom.
What about learn? It is haram.
Okay, so it's haram, right? Where do you find that?
Okay, then in the wisdom of that was transmitted by God to
so
Prophet.
halal and haram is wisdom now, right? Like you see how
you
you
said
cook
it is the
yourself?
application of the Quran. You say
okay,
it is
so
the
where does the
application of the
Quran tell you
Quran.
that gold is haram? You see how you cook yourself?
So why did you say
Because
it is
you're
the
nonsense.
application
You're
of the
talking
Quran?
nonsense. That's the point. The
Can you-
kitab does not
can you
mean
explain me
Quran.
something?
The hikmah does not mean hadith. The hikmah is found
When
in the
God-
Quran. The book is found in the
when God
Quran.
told
You still
them
want to go
teaching
around
them
in
the book
circles.
and the
God states
hikmah.
why He is reciting to them the verses, i.e. the Quran, teaching them the book and the wisdom. The Quran contains the book and the wisdom. What is so difficult for you to understand? When you're telling me the wisdom is hadith, and then I'm asking you, is halal and haram found in hadith? You say yes. Then therefore that's kitab. That's not hadith. That's not hikmah anymore. You're taking kitab outside of the kitab.
I told you what about why I learned about the gold. But in the 62
You don't care. But this is you, and I don't care what you're saying to me. Like let me be, bro.
No,
You're
bro,
going around in circle.
bro.
Okay, so let's go back to 62.2. What is the kitab and hikmah? You keep going around in circle, bro. I gotta go to the next
I
person.
won't ask about.
I gotta go to the next person,
teaching,
bro.
because God was teaching them the book and the hikmah.
Yes.
Teaching.
How was he teaching them?
That means
By
teaching
yatlu alayhim
the kitab and the
ayatihi.
hikmah.
Yeah, by yatlu
To
alayhim
who?
ayatihi.
To who?
To the ummiin, to the people who are Gentiles. Like, okay, now what's your position, bro?
So the companions.
Does the Quran contain
here-
hikmah? Does the Quran contain hikmah?
So God said.
Does the Quran contain
and
hikmah?
Quran.
Does the Quran
So when
contain
he
hikmah?
teach
Does
them
the
book
Quran
and the
contain
book.
hikmah?
Quran and, yes, he has.
Okay, thank you for. So
he
have a
has
nice day.
Some
Okay,
wisdom.
have a nice day, bro. Like, oh my God, bro. Oh, I gotta. Yes, that's true too. Just give me 1 second, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, can you guys hear me? I think you do. All right, cool. It is time for me to stand the prayer. So I have to preach. Yeah, guys, that kind of conversation, it gets you nowhere. So it's like I wanted to drop him for quite some time, but this is it. Sorry, everybody else that's in the queue, I can't take you up because I do have to go. And yeah, I had to end that conversation a little shorter. But I was just hoping for him to concede that the word kitab does not mean Quran. For them, Quran. So they take you to chapter 33 and then they say, okay, the Prophet was also having wisdom that's outside of the Quran. That does not necessitate, because he's applying the Quran, telling his wives how to apply the Quran. But nowhere does it command the wives to go teach that to anyone, because they're supposed to sit at home. So, okay, let's go find the wisdoms of the Prophet's wives. Where do we find that? They're going to say hadith books. So the wives were going out teaching the Quran or the wisdom? No. Okay, so what's the problem? Oh, there's wisdom that's outside of the Quran. Yes, there's wisdoms and applications that's outside of the Quran. But do I find wisdom in the Quran? Yes. So can I learn the wisdom in the Quran? Yes. Do you learn what the kitab is from the Quran? Yes, that's the whole point. But these individuals want to keep trying to force this narrative that these external books have the merit. And then when you take them to the external book, oh, I don't care. I reject that. We don't believe in this. We don't. Okay, you're taking me to these books and you reject these books yourself. Like make it make sense, guys. Like, I don't get it. They want to sit here, argue like atheists, prove that the Quran is preserved. You can't use the word of God. Okay, that's a weird question on its own. Here's many ways that the Quran is true. Oh, okay, but that's not good enough. Okay, but God also said that it's preserved. Oh, that's circular reasoning. How do you prove it? The hadith, we have a chain of isnad. How do you know the chain is reliable? Because hadith is saying that the chain is reliable. That's not circular reasoning. And then they want to sit and laugh. And then they take you to these verses in the Quran, which they call convolute, that it's commanding you to take books outside of the Quran. Okay, let's go into those books. No. I don't want to answer any questions about those books. So what is your point? These individuals have yet to present an idea or any way to show that the Quran is insufficient, that you really require something else for you to understand the word of God. How do you pray? How do you fast? How do you do Hajj? Have you read the Quran? It's actually giving you verses. But notice how when I show them al-hikmah in the Quran, that is what God has inspired you of the hikmah, they reject the verses. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to put a set of verses on the screen for you. And I promise to God, it is like a glove on Sunnis and Shias. It is a glove on them. These verses apply to them like it's a glove. And you could see them being punished, okay? You see their countries, you see their mentalities, you see who they are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you to Surah Al-Jathiyah. I'm going to put this on the screen for everybody to read it together. Let's see if we need hadith to explain these verses to us, okay? Surah Al-Jathiyah. Right here, okay? So God states very clearly here, right? God states it extremely clear here for us to read it together. تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق فبأي حديث بعد الله وآياته يؤمنون. These are the verses of God which we recite to you in truth. So in which discourse, in which narrations, in which hadith after God and his verses they believe, okay? Woe to every sinful liar who hears the verses of God being recited to him, then insists arrogantly as if he had not heard them, therefore announce to him of a painful punishment. And when he learns something from our verses, he takes them in mockery, those who have a humiliating punishment. Ladies and gentlemen, I swear as God is my witness, when I say these verses to them, they act like they don't hear that. And then they say to me, how do you pray, bro? How do you pray? And then when you show them the verses of God on how you pray, oh, does that mean you can make handstands in your prayer? They make it in mockery. They take you as a fool. That the book of God does not have the sufficient information, yet they want to do their rain dance and do whatever they want to do and say salam to angels because that's what they think that they're doing. When they in their own books it says say salam to the person next to you, and Maliki didn't say salam to his right and left if there was nobody there because they want to add their own nonsense. Woeful liars. Sinful liars. Woe to every sinful liars. They make lies about the Prophet. They make lies about God. And when you tell them the verses of God, what do? But my Bukhari kafir. They want to come up here and sing songs to me because they cannot justify their positions. Oh, my 12 imams, my 12 daddies. What are they going to do for you on the day of judgment? Other than say like, yeah, 90% of what you say about us, we didn't say. I didn't say any of this nonsense. You guys are following falsehood. God sent you a book that was clear, okay? And you know what the disbelievers will say on the day of judgment? If God did not send the messenger, oh, God, if only you sent a messenger so we would follow your ayat. Okay, so we would follow your signs. That's what the disbelievers say. Are the hadith books ayat? Is that verses from God? No, it's from the messenger, but it came from God. Okay, so are we obeying God? No, you're obeying the messenger, but you're obeying God. Okay, so what about the Quran? Oh, that's obeying God, but it came from the messenger. Oh, I'm confused. Yeah, you are confused because you keep trying to associate nonsense to God. You're a mushrik. This is what you're trying to prove to me. That these books are so fundamental to Islam that if you don't have them, then even Abraham, if he was alive in this day and age, it's not possible for him to follow the Quran. If Prophet Muhammad was alive in this day and age, I swear as God is my witness, you guys would argue again with him. You would argue with him. No, Bukhari says this. You said this. He's going to say, I didn't say this. Oh, no, we have a magical isnad that says that you said this. It is impossible for the Prophet to say 90% of this nonsense that you guys keep trying to attribute it. I didn't even come to the good stuff. Here. Let's do a quick exposition before I go and pray. Let's see, what does this hadith say here, okay? This hadith here is a mutawatir hadith. So they can't say, oh, da'if, sahih, and all this other nonsense. This is what this hadith states here, okay? It says, right, very simple. He who said there is no God but Allah, he is one and there is no association with him, that Muhammad is his servant and his messenger, that Christ is the servant and the son of his slave girl and Mary, and his word which he communicated to Mary and his spirit, that paradise is a fact and hell is a fact. God would make him affirm these truths, God would make him, he who had affirmed these truths, enter paradise through any one of its 8 doors which he would like. So it's just lip service, okay? But this is not the only place that this was said. This was said in many places. This is why it's mutawatir, okay? This is the one of the most mass transmitted hadith, okay? Messenger of Allah, he who bears witness that there is no true God except Allah alone, having no partners with him, that Muhammad is the slave, his slave and his messenger, and that Isa is a slave and a messenger, his words which he communicated to Mary in his spirit, he sent to her, that Jannah is true and hell is true. Allah will make him enter Jannah, accepting whatever deeds he has accomplished. Okay, so again, it's about lip service. Just lip service. This is what their religion is, lip service. But when you look at the Quran, it tells them that they're full of nonsense, that the messenger would not say this, however mass transmitted it is, okay? God clearly states here, are they waiting? Are they waiting until the angels come to them, or your Lord comes to them with signs of your, or some signs of your Lord come? The day some signs of your Lord come, a soul will not benefit from its faith. So if they start to believe on that day, it's not going to benefit them because they had not believed before or earned any good through its faith. Okay, so if they didn't earn any good in their faith, it's nonsense. It doesn't matter what you said. Okay, you could go to a different verse, and that is the garden which you will be made to inherit for what you have done. Faith with no action is nonsense. Yet they are telling you the most mutawatir hadith, one of the most mutawatir hadith is just give God lip service. I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of God. I bear witness that God is one, Allah, and he is worthy of worship, and no one else is worthy of worship other than the book of Bukhari sometimes. And I bear witness that Isa is the servant of God, right? And he is that's the word that Mary received, right? And and hell is a fact and Jannah is a fact. Let me go now and just go annihilate the world because I've said the testimony of faith and I get to enter heaven however I please. This is what their religion is. This is truly who they are. That's why they don't care about the facts. That's why they don't care what the book states. That's why these verses don't afflict them. That's why they treat other human beings as garbage, unless if they're part of their own stupid club. I don't want your club. I don't want your sunnah. I don't want your nonsense. This is not religion. What I found is much better than what you and your forefathers are doing. I'm inviting you to true monotheism. I am inviting you to the way of God. I'm inviting you to the way of the blessed prophet. You're inviting me to falsehood. You're telling me that I have to wipe my butt and eat in a certain way, and I have to dress in a certain way and I talk in a certain way, which is not universal, which is not stuck to the day I'm in. This is 1400 years ago. If the Prophet was alive in this day and age, his wisdom would teach him that he's going to apply the Quran differently as I do. You ask me how do I pray and you make fun of me. You cannot last a week of my prayers because you are weak. You are not individuals that understand God. You do not strive for God. You think God has told you to get married, make kids and make money and that's it. That's what you think the religion's about. Don't come here and try to sit here and try to teach me a book you barely read. You guys are easy. You guys are the most easiest group in the world. Well, now I can calm down. It's time to pray. This is so easy. This is so easy. There's absolutely nothing that you guys have presented to me as a way to prove that the Quran is not sufficient. I have destroyed you guys at every single second. Oh, you can't prove that the Quran is preserved. Okay, kafir, tell me, is the word of God preserved? Yes, it is. Okay, do you need to prove that? Oh, yeah, we can prove it because hadith is telling me so. So man is telling you it's the word of God. Great. God himself cannot present any information for you to see that he himself has preserved it. Do you see internal contradictions in the Quran? No, you don't. Okay, so there shows that there is no internal corruption. That proves it because of how long that the book is. Do you see the integrity of the Arabic language that's in it? Oh, that's another proof. Now, a very quick question to you. Is there contradictions in the hadith? Oh, plenty. Was it 70 women or 90 women? Was it 15 years, 13 years, or 12 years he's in Mecca? I don't know. Did he enter the Kaaba or didn't? Was it Ismail and Abraham, or was it Abraham and Mary? I don't know. God knows. These are all contradictions in the book that you say that also came from God. It's very sad. It's very sad. But anyways, it's time to me to go pray, because these individuals, as much as you tell them, I swear as God is my witness, if God sends them 3 messengers in this day and age, they will not believe. If God sends them clear signs, if the moon gets split today, they would rejoice that the Quran is right, and they will still keep pushing their nonsense because they're going to say, oh, it got split before and it got split again. God is just repeating his signs, but they will never recognize that their hadith books is a lie. They will never recognize, you know why? Because it will shatter their worldview. It will shatter who they are as an individual. Their narcissism would have to be confronted, and narcissists do not confront their own lives. They want to sit there, shift the blame, and play as if they have it worked out in their mind. But their hadith books is nonsense when it comes down to religion. Does it have some historical evidences? Sure. Is it necessary for Islam? Not one single bit. With that said, God bless you guys. And peace. What narcissism? Sunnis are the biggest narcissists when it comes down to religions. Everyone else is going to hell and there's nothing that we could do wrong, okay? Everyone else has to play the victim, and they're absolutely right at any cost. They have the right to remove and eliminate and take anything out that does not apply to whatever they see in the world. And everyone else is going to hell except them. That their women is always beneath them, that their children, that they have to sit there and literally worship their parents, that nothing that their parents is going to do wrong, that they are in a position that they're going to heaven no matter what. If this is not what narcissism is, they're so bad at taking criticism, which is a sign of narcissism, okay? They have this fake self-confidence that is shattered anytime somebody sits there and shows them that they're wrong. They need this constant praise that when somebody becomes a Muslim, they need to sit here and blast it on the whole world because they need validations for their religion. They are not capable of actually seeing their own error. They don't see the reactions of others that led up to who they are now today because they cannot reflect on their own history. The word of God does not actually modify the Sunnis one little bit. So yes, that's exactly what narcissists do, and this is exactly who they are. And with that said, all praise to our Lord, the Lord of the worlds, and peace be upon you, TikTok. Hi, YouTube. I missed you. You guys are the calm group. What's wisdom? What's wisdom? Tell me, guys. I have. He got me. Man, this is so weird, man. Use the word munafiq. Bro. It's this constant disrespect that they show to the book of God, and it's like you see that they don't hear you. Like, I repeat their points to them. This is what you're saying. This is the point that you're making. This is the answer. Did you hear the answer? No. Well, this is the point again. And this is the point again. And this is the point again. Okay, I heard your point. You had super... Oh, sorry, bro. Shirluni. Man, you could not hold that guy. It's not holding a guy, bro. They don't expect it. Let me see if I can see these questions. Oh, man, they ran away. Not ran away. It doesn't show me them. What was the questions, bro? Astaghfirullah. I saw the trees, but let me see. top chats, live chats, fan funding. There we go. Okay, cool. So is Al-Ma'idah Nahi or prophecy? 551. What? 551. God bless you guys. The Quran proves itself, preserved by God, 100%. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض ومن يتولاه منكم فإنه منهم إن الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. O you have believed, do not take the Jews and the Christians as allies. They are allies of each other. And whoever befriends them among you, then indeed he is among them. Indeed, God does not guide the transgressing people. This is a nahi. This is something that you are supposed to not do. Okay? This is something that God is telling you not to do. And it is technically a prophecy, because if you're going to break this rule, you're going to have problems. You're not going to be guided. You're going to lose the guidance if you start to take them as allies. So this is a rule from God. And when you break the rules, this is what's going to happen. God bless you, Shurluni. Are those the 12 pumpkins? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. 12 plants. Oh, those are the imams of my time. Guys, do you know what Shias say? The difference between the imams and God is one thing. They are servants of God. Everything else is the same. No, Mehmet. I believe they were already in alliance when they met. Okay, guys, I gotta go. God bless you. I'll have to pray. And thank you very much for coming by. This was another, I believe, successful episode where individuals are being shown. Unfortunately, the actual Sunnis that have to come up, they don't come up because they're scared. God bless you. Peace.